After a wild day of action on Friday here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, all the drivers getting a good night's rest before coming back and capping off this weekend at this iconic facility. Hi, folks. My name is Rob Howden, joined here to start off the day by Sam Corey, coming off his first win in USF 2000 competition. 2 races on the docket for USF 2000 drivers, sandwiching a USF Pro 2000 race here today at this fantastic racetrack. And where better to win your first USF 2000 race? Sam, congratulations. You got a chance to sleep on it. How good does it feel this morning?
Oh, it feels so good this morning just to be able to wake up and be able to come back to Indy, essentially. So just being able to win here is just something different, and how iconic.
You know, there are ways to win races, obviously. Sometimes you get out front and you're able to pull away. Other times you kind of manufacture it, right? You're in the right place at the right time. That's what you were able to do. It was chaotic yesterday. Hopefully today not so chaotic, but yesterday you took full advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a really good race. Started P12. Everyone loves the comeback story, right? Yeah. So, no, it was really good. A lot of chaos at the start and in the middle of the race, but was able to start the last restart up in P5. So, no, just sleeping on it, it really means a lot to me that I can come back out here today and just try and win some more races.
I've always said it's interesting. We watch drivers, depending on what happens in race number 1 of a triple header or even a double header, it may change the mindset going into the second or third race. Does that change anything for you? You've got that race win already. Can you sit back maybe and be a little more cautious knowing you just added a bunch of points to your total?
No, I mean, it's the beginning of the season. Everything's on the table. So just going for it today and just trying to get as many points as I can and hopefully some more wins.
How were things in the debrief room last night? You guys have a lot of fast drivers. You were quick, obviously. You had to come from deeper in the field to get the win, but Nikita Johnson has been unbelievably fast. Danny Dzelski was up in the fight as well. Seems like everybody at VRD is in really strong form right now.
Yeah, we're just watching video, trying to dissect everything we can and just to go through it all and just to see if we can get all the drivers in the top 6.
This racetrack is a tough one, as we know. Long straightaways, a lot of drafting. What were you able to learn in your first race at this track that you can potentially use later on today?
As you said, draft is very important. So being able to know, kind of judging how fast our cars are, which Dan Mitchell puts a really good piece together. So just knowing kind of where we stand with straight line speed and stuff like that, it really helps us knowing that we're really quick in the straights, but we're also really quick in the corners. So we got a really great group of guys behind us, and we're trying to get it today.
One thing to watch out for, the end of yesterday, the NTT IndyCar Series had their qualifying run. Of course, we're kicking things off here today. So more rubber down. Is that anything you're thinking about going into the race today?
Yeah, for sure. You never know how the track's going to end up, and, you know, rain could possibly come too, so no one knows. But, yeah, I'm really excited to get out here and just see how gripped up it is, and let's go for it.
A lot of racing on USF Championships in the our TV program here today. Remember, 2 races for USF 2000, 1 for the USF Pro 2000 category. When we get back after this break, I'll run you through the lineup for race number 2.
We're like any normal family. We just get shorter wait times because we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like...
Come on, Mom.
Ready? And it's all thanks to Kyle. Thank you. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
The USF 2000 machines make their way down pit lane. I'm Michael Young, along with Greg Rakestraw. We welcome the voice of this series, Rob Howden, to the public address booth. A thriller yesterday in race number 1, expecting much the same here in race number 2.
Yeah, again, just amp it up another level, right? The drivers all had that first run here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Majority of the field, 90% of the field, rookies, freshmen in the program this year. We saw a tremendous battle yesterday against the USF Juniors champion from last year, Matt Clark, going at it with the veteran Simon Sykes. They get together in turn number 1 on the final lap, Greg, and Sam Corey from 12th, able to work his way to a massive race win. We're going to see very similar racing here today.
We had an early morning qualifying session yesterday, and then we have the race. And I reference that because those are the two different ways to set your starting position for this race. Walk that through us.
Yeah, that was the big thing. We had that wet weather qualifying, so the fastest laps of the race yesterday were actually used for qualifying for the race here today. Normally, the fastest lap of qualifying sets the grid for race 1. Your second fastest lap is what sets the grid for race 2 and race 3, unless you go quicker in the race. And with that wet qualifying, you're almost guaranteed to go quicker in race number 1. So everybody's setting off their pace from race number 1. That lines things up, and let's have a look at that grid right now as the drivers have worked their way down here onto pit lane. Starting at the tail of the field, Lucas Mann did have some trouble in the race, did not get a good lap there, so he'll start at the tail of the field, his first weekend of the year for exclusive Autosport. There is Lucas Mann in the number 92 Tatis USF2000. Alongside him, keep an eye on Evagoras Papasavas in the number 6 for Jay Howard Driver Development up front in the points. Had an issue yesterday with an engine. He is going to be storming forward. There's no doubt about it that the driver of that number 6 machine out of Loveland, Ohio, is going to push forward quickly. Another driver we expect to see move forward quickly. In fact, this row number 9, 17th and 18th, these are the two drivers that got together. That is Elliot Cox right there, a driver out of Indianapolis, Indiana for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. A tremendous young driver, qualified third. He's the one that got in the incident with Garcia yesterday. Garcia gets in the back of Max Taylor, climbs over top, and Michael, we have the halos on the car with these new cars, and there was a complete tire mark right across the halo of Elliot Cox. It did its job. No injury to him whatsoever.
It was a scary moment, and thank goodness that halo was there. And one of those freak incidents, a late braking going into turn number 7. We got a car in the air, and Elliot was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But very, very fortunate that he got out of that car, and only a scrape of rubber across the top of that halo.
A lot of damage to the end of that number 67. They were able to get that fixed up, and he is back out here. So Cox in the 67 starting 18th. He'll start alongside Max Garcia, the young 14-year-old with the Advanced Auto Parts sponsorship on the side of that Pabst racing machine. The number 24 starting back in 17th position. Row number 8 will have Max Taylor. He's the driver that got hit from behind in the number 33 for VRD Racing. Taylor starting in the 16th spot alongside Avery Towns in the number 93. Towns out of Texas for exclusive Autosport. Had a great run, was running in the top 10. Just an issue at the very end of that race dropped him outside the top 10, but Towns having some good speed throughout the day. He'll start in 15th. Row number 7, we'll see Gordon Scully on the outside for VRD Racing in the number 19. His teammate Zach Ping in the number 97 out of Buford, Georgia, starting alongside him. So in all, VRD Racing, row number 7. We'll go to row number 6 right now, and it's George Garciarce in the number 10, the Mexican for D-Force Racing, starting in the 12th position. Inside of that row, the driver who joined us up here in the booth for the USF Pro 2000 race yesterday, Indianapolis driver Al Morey IV for Jay Howard Driver Development. Top 10 yesterday. He'll start 11th today, looking to back it up again with another top 10. Speaking of top 10, let's roll into that right now. Starting on the outside of row number 5, Jacob Douglas in the number 90. An up and down day for him yesterday. Started on the outside of the front row, but got collected up over the curbing at the start, fell to the tail of the field, battled his way back forward to a top 10 finish. There he is, the number 90 of Jacob Douglas, getting set to go from the outside of row number 5. Alongside him, it'll be Los Angeles, California driver Ethan Ho for DC Autosport in the number 68. He'll start in the 9th position. Going now to row number 4 on the outside will be the number 12 of Maxwell Jameson, driver to Houston, Texas for D-Force Racing. Jameson starting in 8th. And on the inside, the other Texan is Chase Gardner. Had a great run yesterday from the very tail of the field. The hard charger worked his way up to P6. So Gardner, the number 95, a much better starting spot here for race number 2. We'll see if he can't chase his way up onto the podium. We'll go to row number 3 now. Danny Dezelski, a good run yesterday as well for VRD Racing. Dezelski in the number 18 machine out of Belmont, North Carolina. He'll start alongside Matt Clark, last year's USF Juniors champion out of Milton, Ontario, Canada. He's got the scholarship colors on that Tatis, running for D-Force Racing. Almost a win yesterday for Matt Clark. He did not get to the end as the race winner, but still was able to salvage a 6th place finish. He'll start from P5 here today. Row Road number 2 will have Sam Corey, yesterday's winner on the outside P4. Started 12th and turned that into a race win. We'll see what Sam Corey can do, the North Carolina driver, the number 14. Already gets that race win. And we talk about it a lot with these young drivers. When you get that first win, often the floodgates will open. You get the confidence and the momentum. We'll see what Corey does here today. But that's the driver out of Australia. Your current point leader right now, Lockie Hughes for J. Howard Driver Development. Hughes, a 2-time winner on the season already. He'll start on the inside of row number 2. 20 drivers in the field. On the front row, you've got a veteran and you got a 14-year-old rookie who's already won. On the outside for Pabst Racing, Simon Sykes. He's won already this year. Got a victory at Sebring as the cars now roll off the grid. Sykes was a driver who's tried to make a move around the outside of Matt Clark for the win. He ended up having some trouble, fell all the way back to 15th. A tough result for Simon Sykes. He needs to bounce back here in the first of 2 races for USF 2000 today. But I'll tell you, this 14-year-old kid, Michael Young, Nikita Johnson out of Gulfport, Florida, was able to win in St. Petersburg, his home race. He was a winner last year at USF Juniors as well. Does a lot of testing between races over in Europe. Nikita Johnson, that number 17, is a name everybody's going to want to know here in USF 2000.
Made his way down that front straightaway with the lead. Missed turn 1, had to use the runoff, fell back to 7th, and at the end of the race worked his way all the way back to 3rd. I thought one of the best drives of the afternoon with a mistake, but still kept a cool head and was able to get himself on the podium.
And I think that's the key, Michael, is the fact that at 14 years of age, you think, you know what, maybe you make a mistake early in the race. You have to go through the runoff. Oh, I've lost it. But able to stay focused. You know, on the radio they were telling him, listen, this race is going to get hectic. It's going to get wild. Keep digging. He ends up getting back onto the podium. So he's worked his way up nicely into the championship battle as well. Just 14 years of age. And we may see him potentially running in the USF Pro 2000 category next year. He's a tremendous talent and way more mature for his age than you would expect.
Hard to believe someone 14 years old can have that much poise and confidence and just the maturity to go into a race like that and to fight his way back through, as you said. I can remember what I was doing at 14, and it certainly wasn't as impressive as that.
Exactly right. And listen, you think about this. Now he gets another opportunity to do it again, right? Starting on the pole. He's already made that one mistake. And one thing about Nikita is he'll make that mistake, but he'll learn from it, right? And you don't expect to see that happen again. But we have said this before. This is such a tough place to start on the pole. Yeah, you want the pole position. If you start up front, you normally finish up front. You want the bonus point for starting on the pole. But it's such a long run, Michael, down into that wide and inviting turn number 1. Pretty easy for guys to get runs on you. You know we're going to go 4 or 5 wide into the corner. Chaos could happen for sure. We're getting ready for it, but maybe cooler heads will prevail here today.
Well, it certainly happened yesterday. Jacob Douglas had issues as the field came down. Nikita Johnson will bring them down again today. Field starts to make their way out of turn number 14. Time to go racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with the USF 2000 series.
20 drivers strong. Side by side coming out of turn 14. It'll be Johnson on the inside of number 17, the first to punch off. He sets the pace, brings him down. He's on the throttle, and we are green. Racing across the yard of bricks and down to turn number 1. They'll keep it right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Not surprising. Gonna hold that spot. You see right behind him is Lockie Hughes. He'd be more than happy to dive up the inside. Big run around the outside. Look at this move. Is it gonna hold for Danny Dzelski in the number 18. Michael, he gets the job done from the outside. Dzelski, but more contact further back. We got wings all over the racetrack.
Great move by Danny Dzelski. Finished 4th in yesterday's race. Has a power move to the outside of turn number 1. Field now cleanly through turns 5 and 6. As you see, the number 19 wings off.
Scully.
Scully will have to come to pit lane and get that repaired. Field makes their way down into turn number 7.
Tough one for Gordon Scully. Started 14th. You can see them go 2-3 wide down here into turn number 7 as well. That's Matt Clark making a big move to the inside. Another driver going off. That is Avery Towns. He's gone off. He's got to get this thing spun around and back at it. Very luckily for him, though, I would not be surprised if we end up going full course because we do have a couple of wings over in turn number 2. Otherwise, right now, great start from the 3rd row for Danny Dzelski on the outside. Got a big run and was able to come across the bow from left to right to take the lead. Out of turn number 1, Nikita Johnson kind of checked up a little bit, trying to get through cleanly. But Dzelski puts VRD Racing up front, and as I said, not surprising, full course yellow for the damage in turn number 1. Wings all over the place.
I think I just saw... Yeah, here's a replay. I thought I saw Sam Corey coming down pit lane. Here's a replay of the action into turn number 1.
See them working through here. Look further back. Where are we going to have the contact here? Right there, yeah, checked up. One of the VRD, a couple of VRD cars had to check up behind a D-Force car, and there's just literally nothing you can do. Once the accordion effect like that happens, one guy checked up, and indeed, who's coming down pit lane? You might have been right. That's a couple of VRD cars. That looks like Max Taylor potentially. I don't know if that was Sam Corey or not. No, Corey's still P4.
Corey's out there. Yeah, he was out there. I thought I saw him coming to pit lane.
That's Scully. So that was Scully.
Yep. Scully in the 33,
Max
down on pit lane, Max Taylor.
Yeah, so Gordon Scully and Max Taylor, the two VRD drivers. Again, they started a little deeper in the field. Taylor started 16th, Scully 14th. So really 7th row, 8th row on the outside trying to get through turn number 1 and 2.
As we're watching all that action and unfold in the incident in turn number 1, Danny Dzelski with the great move. Simon Sykes somewhere down on the north end was able to get back around. So Sykes will be the leader as we go to our first caution of the day.
And this is one thing that will happen. And again, if we have an incident like that early in the lap, we're not immediately going to go yellow. We kind of give them the opportunity to kind of shake things down a bit over the lap. We don't need to go full course until they're coming, out of turn 12 and 13. Everybody hears it on the radio. Gives these drivers a chance to kind of settle things down a bit. Yeah, great start for Danny Dzelski. He was able to take the lead, but the veteran driver Simon Sykes realizes it, makes the move down into turn number 7. Sykes finds himself P1 over Dzelski. It's still a good start for Nikita Johnson. He ends up in 3rd.
Sykes threw away a great opportunity yesterday, so certainly for him to be able to lead these opening laps as we go to caution, 14 to go. Here's a replay of our start of this race. And a great run, as you had said, Danny Dzelski on the outside as we watch. He'll be the car to the outside. There he is, 3 wide going in.
And side by side with Sykes. Sykes sees him coming through the corner. What a great run. And I love that move to the outside for Dzelski. Very aggressive on the outside. Because remember, when you're on the inside as well, you're thinking, okay, I'm on the inside. I got my position. But when you're on the inside, you got to brake earlier because it's a tighter turn around the corner. For Scully, way on the outside, he goes deeper on the braking zone. It's a wider arc coming in. And you're not trying to get to the apex on the outside. You're trying to get to the exit point already. So the apex in the middle of the track. Beautiful move by Dzelski. And then, of course, Simon Sykes, as we said, able to get back by.
And we talk about the 14-year-old Nikita Johnson as we go back to green. Great patience as he is able to set himself up, makes a move to the inside. Nikita Johnson trying to get that second position back into turn number 1.
Tremendous start for Simon Sykes as they went back to green quickly. He was able to get a good jump. And look at this deep move down the inside. Wow, that was a late breaker down into turn number 1 for Dzelski as he tried to see if he could get the job done. Sykes, luckily, there's no contact there, but look at they're lining up behind him. That is Sykes, the Paps car, and then VRD. That is Dzelski, Johnson, and Colry right there, and a good start as well for Matt Clark as he goes up a spot. Matt Clark, I believe, up into P5 now.
Danny Dzelski extremely confident in that move down into turn number 1. That was almost got around our leader, Simon Sykes.
Big, deep move in, but again, Sykes, the same thing, a wider arc, was able to get the run around and held Dzelski off. Otherwise, the VRD drivers lining up right behind Simon Sykes. This is when they're going to be on the radio. Dan Mitchell will be said, guys, relax. We're looking good here right now, 2, 3, 4. It's a long race. Remember, 15-lapper for these drivers here. No need to get too aggressive over the opening couple laps. Let's settle in and see if we can't pull away a little bit. One driver you see further back, they're kind of closing up on the 33, a Max Taylor potentially. And Max had to come in to get some work done. They got him back out onto the racetrack.
Big loser in the start of this race, Lockie Hughes, who started on the inside of row number 2, I think fell back to the 7th position, trying to work his way back to the front.
Caught me off guard a little bit there. I was like, what? There's a white nose on that car. The only driver really with a white nose and a dark car would be Matt Clark with the scholarship colors, but they put a white nose back on that VRD car. So there's the lead coming in. Look at this battle further back. Lockie Hughes, I believe, getting up into the scrap as well. I think Hughes potentially moving his way up into 3rd. Everybody fighting away. There's the lead for Simon Sykes. Sykes with solid advantage right now. Back down the inside comes Dzelski.
Danny Dzelski, 4th place finisher yesterday on the march today, trying to not only get a podium, but get a victory. Field makes their way through turns 5 and 6, cleanly through the race down Holman Boulevard into turn number 7. Your leader, Simon Sykes.
Sykes locks up the right front a little bit coming in. The VRD guys going at each other right now. So again, as I said, they've got Lockie Hughes, the Jay Howard driver, in there as well, the current point leader. Lockie having a really good run yesterday. Side-by-side action further back with Elliot Cox as well. He's scrapping it out with George Garciarza and Al Morey. Cox trying to work his way back forward after the disappointment of the contact yesterday. Had a really good qualifying run, P3, and then had that contact with Max Garcia after he went up and over Taylor. Just trying to see if he can't salvage a good finish here. He's moved his way forward a couple of spots. He started back at 18th. I think Cox now potentially up into 13th. So 5-position improvement already for Cox. Good run thus far early for the Indianapolis driver.
Yeah, good patience for Elliott Cox. Field making their way down the front straightaway, keeping an eye on Lockie Hughes. Closing in on that rear wing is Sam Corey. The field making their way down into turn number 1. Further back in the field, they'll go too wide. And there goes Lockie Hughes to the inside of Corey.
Here comes that scrap, potentially, for the position. Across the line, Sykes was the leader. Johnson second, Dzelski in third, Corey fourth, Hughes fifth. Matt Clark was running in the 6th spot. 7th with Jacob Douglas, 8th Chase Gardner, 9th Ethan Ho, and Zach Ping rounding out the top 10. Ping started in 13th, so a 3-position improvement for him to work his way up now into the top 10. You see all those drivers there. Gardner, Ho, Ping, Papasavas all together. Remember, Papasavas started back at 19th. He's already up into 11th, so a good run there for Evagoras Papasavas for Jay Howard Driver Development, fighting his way back up into the almost into the top 10 now.
Not only he, but as you said, Elliott Cox slowly picking their way through the field. 11 laps to go, 10 to go when they come by this time.
You know, Michael, this is one of the things about this particular racetrack as well. There are lots of overtaking opportunities. Yeah, we got contact deeper in the field. Looks like a couple of drivers from Jay Howard potentially together. We'll see if they're able to continue. That might have been the 97 involved in that incident. That would be Ping potentially. Also the 7 of Al Morey, and I think the 12 of Jameson potentially involved in that. That's just outside the top 10 indeed. Full course yellow for the contact over on the exit of turn number 10. Right where I was trying to set up was the fact that unlike a Barber Motorsports Park where it's so hard to pass, there's a couple of really good opportunities for overtaking here. So drivers can be patient. Apparently not.
Not in this instance. We'll keep an eye on that incident. It happened down into turn number 7 after they got through that left-hander, working their way into turn number 8. They went side by side, and the contact was made.
So we think that is potentially the 7 of Al Morey and the 12 of Jameson. Yeah, those two drivers already falling to the tail of the field. So we've lost Gordon Scully early with the incident. Max Taylor lost his front wing. They were able to get him back onto the racetrack, so he remains on the lead lap. That's actually good for him. I don't think they were able to catch him up either.
Well, I thought they got around him, so I'm looking at Taylor. They did get around him, so I think not only Sykes, but Nikita Johnson got around him.
Here's the replay now. You can see further back. Johnson tries to go to the inside and just drives into the right rear. That was just, he did not have the position, maybe a little overzealous there. Jameson getting into the side of Morey coming through turn number 10. Sad to see that, both those drivers falling down the order. I think they were running 13th and 14th at the time. So obviously, difficult to see that, but it happens. That's what we're talking about. This is junior level racing. They're learning the racecraft, and sometimes you have to learn by making a mistake.
Yeah, it's one of those instances. I think it's tough to get around somebody in turn 10 especially. It's a slower portion of the course. After they get through turn 7, 8, and 9, the speed gets picked up after 10. So potentially I thought, hey, I'm going to get a nice run here, but going too wide there, it's extremely difficult.
They've had to make a mistake. If they've made a mistake in 8 and 9, they're kind of behind it a little bit, and you're getting a really good run, maybe you can tuck to the inside. Otherwise, it's just such a tough place. Like you said, once you get through that corner, there's a lot of exit. You're already rolling on the throttle. And that's what we saw there. Morey had already turned in. He was already back to the throttle. And at that point, Maxwell Jameson just tried to make that move to the inside, and we had left front to right rear contact. Let's reset it for you. Simon Sykes is the leader. It was 1.8 seconds. That advantage goes away. That'll put Nikita Johnson right on his gearbox as we go back to green flag racing soon. Danny Dzelski holding on to 3rd. Lockie Hughes in 4th spot. Matt Clark up into 5th. Sam Corey, who we saw battling up front, back to 6th. Jacob Douglas runs in 7th. Ethan Ho 8th. Chase Gardner in 9th. And Elliott Cox, who started back in 18th, is into the top 10. So the Indianapolis resident doing fantastic here right now.
Interesting that Elliott was behind Papasavas for quite some time. Papasavas and he started in the back of the field, and Elliott was able to get back around Papasavas. Those two have been battling since the beginning of the race. Cox starting in that 18th position, Papasavas in the 19th position. And for those two drivers to get up to 10th and 11th, this caution is very advantageous for them. It'll bring the field back together, and I think allow them both to be able to pick up a lot more positions.
Anytime you start at the back, you're thinking, here's what I need. I need to get a couple spots at the start, then I need a yellow, which they got already, so they were able to get a couple of positions, then get the yellow there. And then I want a couple more yellows, short yellows, because you need time to move forward. But give me a couple of short yellows during this race. Be more than happy to work their way forward. So both those drivers have to be happy right now with 10th and 11th right now. But I guarantee you, we know Cox had the speed, qualified third for race number 1 yesterday, but again had that incident. There's Al Morey coming into pit lane. They'll have a look at that to see if there's any damage. Looking at obviously the right rear. Maybe a little bit, maybe the bodywork a little bit. That's about it. So potentially Al Morey able to get back out onto the racetrack, although he will be down a lap.
Yeah, Maxwell Jamison on pit lane as well.
Simon Sykes looking for the retribution after yesterday. Again, an ill-advised move for Simon. I think as the point leader coming in, he probably would have been wiser to just finish second. But hey, it's the mind of a racer, right? Last lap, you've got big speed, especially coming down the straightaway. He had a huge run on Matt Clark, tried to go to the outside. Matt kind of pushed a little wide at the exit, and they made contact and locked up a bit, went across the grass. Clark was able to finish in the 6th spot. Simon had an issue and fell all the way down into 15th. So I'm sure that when he would look back, it's like, yeah, maybe second would have been better. But, you know, anytime these drivers get a chance to win, especially here, they want to go for that victory.
Well, we see Zach Ping's car sitting there on the exit of turn number 8. They're going to now tow that car back. So
that's a separate incident.
That was a separate incident. So yeah. Zach had been sitting there for a while. He was back in 7, and the other incident unfolded in turn number 10. So a lot of cleanup, and I think what will be interesting on this restart, you have Simon Sykes, Nikita Johnson, Danny Dzelski all hungry. Lockie Hughes, who fell back in the field, has worked his way back to 3rd. And then you've got Elliot Cox and Evagoras Papasavas 10th and 11th. So we're going to have a battle for the lead, and you've got guys mid-pack who have very fast race cars trying to work their way to the front after this caution ends and we go back to green flag racing.
And the interesting thing is now their mindsets for guys like a Cox or Papasavas is now I can get more. You know, at the start of a race, hey, if we go green to checker through the 15 laps, I'm hoping for top 10. Well, all of a sudden, there's Cox in 10th. Now he's thinking, okay, I can win this. You know, at the very least, I'm going to the podium. So, especially now knowing what kind of a run we're going to have again down into turn number 1 when we do go back racing. So, watch for both Cox and Papasavas to be very aggressive to try to get themselves up to get a couple of more positions here. Matt Clark, of course, 6th yesterday. He had a rough start to the season, but they've got that car dialed in for D-Force Racing. Clark's going to be very aggressive as well. Again, these restarts. You know what we say, caution's precautions. I'm going to hold my breath again when they come down into turn number 1 because it's just, this corner, unlike any in, I think, the circuit, is so inviting because it's so wide coming down that long straightaway. You have a huge toe, a big draft, and as we talked about yesterday, Michael, it funnels down into where you essentially have to be too wide. You're 5 wide coming in, 2 wide on the exit, so you really have to be smart and maybe patient in terms of car placement coming through the corner.
And explain to the fans, these cars so nimble, unlike the heavier NTT Indy cars, these USF 2000 cars, these guys can turn quickly and really get themselves into some interesting positions. And when they dive down into turn number 1, you can see them 3-4 wide, and they can all hopefully find their way through.
Indeed, yeah, you can get these cars to rotate pretty quickly. As Michael said, they are very nimble. They a lot of forward bite and the precision of on the front of the car. You can really get the thing to turn. We saw that yesterday with what Jacob Douglas tried to do. He tried to get down to the bottom very quickly to do the over-under, but got up and over the curb and then got a tap from behind. These cars can dart if they need to. It's not a heavy Indy car, as you had said, so you can really dive from the outside and make moves to the apex. We see that happen a lot. So indeed, we could see a little bit of that when we head back into turn number 1. But again, looks like they've been able to get that car of Zach Ping, who was stranded on the outside at turn number 9. I think they've got that moved, and we'll be able to get back at it. Indeed, there you go. Clean run through 7, 8, and 9. Drivers will get back here through, and we'll get things back underway. That was actually, I think, on the outside of 7, potentially. So indeed, Ping's back into the paddock. Couple of drivers issued. Ping and Scully, Jamison, Morey, all those drivers involved. Max Taylor down a lap. So lead lap cars about 15 right now. Back to Lucas Mann, who runs 15th in the number 92. We're going to put lap 8 in the books when we come back around. Eventually, when we go back, it's going to be probably 6 or 7 laps remaining.
Field will make their way through the south end of the course. They make that right-hander into turn number 12, then through turns 13 and 14. We see the pace car begin to peel off. The field will begin to bunch up. We will be going green. Simon Sykes leads Nikita Johnson, Danny Dzelski, Lockie Hughes, and Matt Clark down the front straightaway. We go back to green.
And indeed, the second car in the order as the machine of Max Taylor. That's the driver's a lap back. So the driver's sitting in second right now, but potentially trying to get his lap back. If he gets aggressive and tries to go around, Sykes will hold him off. So right now, Sykes actually has a bit of cushion right now as he's got Max Taylor behind him. That's a lap car. So Johnson runs in second, Dzelski in third. Everybody clean thus far through turns 1 and 2. Here's Matt Clark making a move to the inside. Clark's going to go to the inside of Hughes, I believe. So Clark aggressive as I expected, Michael. They'll work their way through 5 and 6. Down that back straightaway, the second passing opportunity on this restart lap. Big run down Holman Boulevard, one of the longest straightaways on the circuit for these drivers. Look at this defense all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Big move to the bottom for Lockie Hughes.
Yeah, it was an amazing move down into turn number 7 as the field starts to make their way through the south end of the course. Simon Sykes leads the field through, but what a great move. Matt Clark already up to second. Got around Lockie Hughes in turn number 1. He is on the charge.
Fantastic move by Elliott Cox over in turn number 10 as well as he got to the inside of Ethan Ho. So Cox on the move as we know. Big defensive run down there as well into turn number 12. Man, these guys have got their elbows up here on this lap. And again, it's one of those laps where everybody's stuck together. People are going to start jumping on each other. You get hung out to dry on the outside, you've lost momentum. Everybody else wants to try to take advantage of it and see if they can't put you back even more. Cox having a big run here, and he's going to get a big draft coming up the straightaway as well. We'll check him up again coming across the line. Sykes, Hughes, Johnson, Clark, and Corey are top 5. And that is Matt Clark going by Max Taylor. Taylor's going to watch it. He is that lap back. You don't want to get into somebody here when you're a lap down.
Yeah, I misidentified. That was Lockie Hughes getting around Matt Clark, and Lockie has really accelerated through this field. Started 4th on that restart, able to get himself up to 2nd. Simon Sykes checks out, though, about an 8-car length advantage. Near contact through 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's Max Taylor. He's the driver who's a lap back, right? He just wasn't able to stay out in front of Simon Sykes before that yellow came in. And one of the drivers he was battling with had to go to the right side of the chicane. He's going to have to give that spot up. And again, Simon Sykes, though, has handled a restart. Look at the gap that he has. That's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Sykes, Hughes, and Johnson. Man on the move right now, though, Elliott Cox. He's got himself up into the 8th position and already trying to go to work here on Jacob Douglas and Danny Dzelski. So Elliott Cox scrapping his way forward here. They put lap number 9 in the books. It'll be 10 down, 5 to go, Michael, next time by the yard of bricks. So Simon Sykes looking to see if he can't come back from that disappointment from yesterday. He comes in here sitting 2nd place in points. Lockie Hughes with 129. 14 back for Simon Sykes. He's doing whatever he can to get himself back closer to the point lead.
Nikita Johnson starting to put a little pressure on Lockie Hughes. Lockie making that move on the north end of the course. We've got a battle mid-pack as they make their way to turn number 1, but keeping our eye on Lockie Hughes.
Look at this scrap here. We're going to go 3 wide. That's Chase Gardner in the middle. Oh, yeah, Ethan Ho comes across the bow. That's the Tana Garciarce right there, too. These guys are scrapping it through turn number 3. Gardner's going to get hung out to dry on the outside, indeed. And he's got his teammate Avery Towns right in there as well. So that's the battle that's right now for 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. What a scrap.
A case of drivers having a bad restart, falling back, and then trying to pick their way back through.
And like I said, if somebody gets you and you get hung out to dry on the outside, you can never get back to the line because everybody else is trying to get in. You just keep falling backwards because when you get out of the racing line, of course, the grip's not there. You might have the marbles off the tires there. It hasn't been cleaned off in the morning. So when you get offline, you struggle to get back on grip. You struggle to get back in. That's what's happened right now to Chase Gardner. He's gone back a couple of spots. He's got to press the reset button because he has the speed to run inside the top 10, but struggling a little bit here after that restart.
Simon Sykes, your leader. Lockie Hughes, Nikita Johnson, Matt Clark, Sam Corey, yesterday's winner of race number 1, running P5.
Simon Sykes getting the job done right now, 1.1 seconds out of the lead over Lockie Hughes. That is 1st and 2nd in the points. Lockie Hughes 2nd on the racetrack right now, 1st in points by 14. The finish of this race, if it were to finish as it is right now, would most definitely tighten things up. And again, we have one more USF2000 race still coming.
Elliott Cox starting to close in on the rear wing of Jacob Douglas. That's the battle for that 6th position.
Indeed, Douglas last time by a 127 flat. Cox a 127.1, so holding that position a little bit. Everything kind of spread out a little bit here up front. There is Sykes, Hughes, and Johnson. Then the gap back to Matt Clark, P4. And you've got Sam Corey, yesterday's winner, running in the 5th spot. Behind him, Jacob Douglas, the Kiwi, in the number 90. And it's the number 67 drive planning machine of Elliott Cox. Papasavas, who started all the way back at 19th, is up into 8th. An 11 position improvement for Papasavas right now. He wants more, of course. He's scrapping it out right now with Danny Dzelski for 8th position. Ethan Ho there as well. But you got to think, when you start deep in the field like that, again, even a top 10 is a success. Get that done, come back for race number 3.
So Jacob Douglas in that 6th position. That's the closest battle on the circuit right now. It's between Elliott Cox in 7th. Jacob Douglas has that 6th position. They'll work their way through turn number 12. We'll see how that battle tightens up as they make their way through the final couple of turns here at the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, the tightest battle on the field, Jacob Douglas and Elliott Cox.
Talk about the movement forward for Elliott Cox and Evagoras Papasavas. Plus 11 for Cox as he's now closing up. That's actually Max Taylor. He's closing up on the lap car of Taylor. We watched him coming up the front straightaway. Plus 11 since the start, but since that restart, we talked about how important the restart was for Cox and Papasavas because they were able to kind of tighten things back up. Cox getting 3 more positions since that restart. Papasavas getting 3 as well. So both those drivers capitalizing as Chase Gardner's into pit lane in the number 95, as is the number 19 of Gordon Scully. They got him back out onto the racetrack with a new rear wing. But an issue for the number 95 of Chase Gardner. It's been an up and down weekend here for Chase Gardner. Just really hasn't had the luck that he needs.
Watching that battle for second start to shape up. Lockie Hughes and Nikita Johnson. Nikita Johnson is there. They worked their way through turn number 10. About a 1 car length advantage. Nikita Johnson's on the charge trying to get that 2nd position back.
And maybe not surprising, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the points, all running in the top 3 right now. It is Simon Sykes 2nd in points, but he's now leading. Remember, Nikita Johnson, if he gets by Lockie Hughes, he's behind Lockie in the points. He wants to get in front of Lockie to close it up a little bit. So the motivation is there for Nikita to potentially make the move here right now.
Elliott Cox got around the lap car of Max Taylor, now trying to get up on that rear wing of Jacob Douglas, has closed that gap ever so slightly, but there's the battle for second as they make their way out of turn number 14. Your leader, Simon Sykes, then Lockie Hughes and Nikita Johnson. They go down low to the inside of the track, making their way down into turn number 1, a drag race to the entrance of turn number 1.
Big run to the outside for Nikita Johnson. Can he try the over-under coming through the corner where you're down lower and you got to brake earlier to get that car turned around? You can see the huge gap for Simon Sykes. He is loving this right now. Guys, you battle for second. I'm going to check out. And indeed, Nikita Johnson putting a ton of pressure right now on Lockie Hughes for P2. Couple of laps to go. They'll see the white flag this next time by. Danny Dzelski not so lucky. We've talked a lot about guys moving forward. Dzelski has lost 6 positions since the restart, so he's going backwards right now, trying to see if he can plug the dike right now because he's going to hold your spot, see if he can get a top 10. He's currently running in 9th position.
2 laps remaining. Race number 2 for this USF 2000 series.
Crucial right now, Michael, for Simon Sykes. He needed to be able to get back up front. He got his first ever career USF 2000 win at Sebring back at the end of March. It was huge for him, the release of all that pressure. But this is a guy that does not have the budget to finish the season. We've seen this before with a guy like Miles Rowe. He needs to win. He needs to be up front of the points if he's going to be able to keep finding the money, keep finding the support to move forward. And again, a win here would be huge for him. Another victory on the season, get him closer to the point lead. White flag flying for Simon Sykes in the Pabst Racing number 22. And here's the battle again, coming down the inside of the racetrack, right on the pit wall. Again, that's that battle between Lockie Hughes and Nikita Johnson. They'll work their way down into turn number 1. We're watching this camera through turn 5 and 6, missing that run. I wish we would have got that down in turn number 1, but we'll wait for them to come back around. Here's your leader right now. There's Simon Sykes. And there is Lockie Hughes, who again has been able to hold off. Leaders just working their way onto the back straightaway right now. Coming through turn number 5 and 6. Here's the run down in turn number 7.
That's going to be the maybe last opportunity for Lockie Hughes to hold off Nikita Johnson. Nikita Johnson tries again to the outside, and Lockie Hughes able to hold him off about a half car length. They'll make their way to the slower portions, but Nikita Johnson is there.
He's shown a lot of patience, but sooner or later he's like, listen, I got to get by you. You're leading the points right now, and you've been running that defensive line. Watch for Nikita Johnson to get very aggressive. Two big opportunities, of course, Michael, turn 1 and turn number 7. White flag flying for Simon Sykes. Just one more lap for him to be able to get through here. Simon Sykes trying to come around out of 13 and 14.
He'll see the checkered flag.
Oh, it's the checkered flag. That's right. This is it. I thought we had one more to go. No, the white flag was for the other drivers. And ladies and gentlemen, Simon Sykes winning at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He wins race 2 of USF 2000. A huge victory for Simon Sykes to close the championship battle. But hey, Lockie Hughes, second place. Still another strong run for the Aussie, able to hold off Nikita Johnson.
One of the most impressive runs I've seen this weekend, and just Lockie Hughes able to hold off Nikita Johnson because Nikita was so good, and it was that restart that Lockie had. He started in the 5th position, able to work his way around Matt Clark, dived in underneath Nikita Johnson and was able to hold him off the remainder of the race. So a power move and a great job. But how about Simon Sykes from yesterday to today, the disappointment of yesterday, and able to come back victorious today?
You know, and again, you sleep on it overnight, you sit down. He's a veteran driver. Again, we're not talking about a 14 or a 15-year-old here. Simon's been around for a couple of years here in USF 2000. He's just never had a chance to run a full season, number 1, neither with a top-tier team. Pabst Racing, of course, one of the juggernauts in this program, almost won the championship last year as well. So a fantastic run for Simon Sykes. He needed that in a big way. Hughes able to solidify, still a good second-place finish for him. Nikita Johnson back on the podium again. Once again, back-to-back podiums for Nikita Johnson. Matt Clark in the 4th spot. Yesterday's winner, Sam Corey, in 5th. Checker flag flying for the remainder of the drivers, and we talked a lot about these guys. Elliot Cox, Michael, started 18th. He goes up to 8th, 10 position improvement. Papa Savas able to get by Cox on the last lap. He goes from 19th up to 7th. 12 spot improvement for Papa Savas, and he's going to be able to use that when we go back racing here around the noon hour for race number 3.
Yeah, once Elliot Cox was able to get around Max Taylor, he kind of stalled out, and Papa Savas was able to take advantage of that and get around him. A great run for both of those drivers, so there's nothing to be ashamed of to come from 18th to 8th for Cox and then 19th to 7th for Papa Savas.
Yeah, and you brought the car home. You're going to roll it back into the paddock. They're going to get it on the pad. They're going to go do some work on it because, again, remember, we're a pretty quick turnaround right now getting things going. 8:30 right now. They're going to be probably back on the grid at about 11:30, so about 3 hours from now. And for drivers who had potential trouble in that race, they're going to have to get those cars repaired, get them back out for race number 3 of this triple header. But the bottom line is, for Simon Sykes, he is not only just a USF 2000 winner now, his 2nd victory, and now a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
That's something right there. As you see, the 22 of Simon Sykes brings that car just across the yard of bricks, and we will do some celebrating momentarily with our top 3 finishers, Nikita Johnson, Lockie Hughes, and there you see the winner, Simon Sykes, climbing from that machine.
You know, Michael, he just has to keep winning, and that's the thing. The emotion that he's going to have every time he gets out of the car after a victory, because he knows he doesn't have the money yet to go to the Carb Night Classic at IRP in a couple of weeks. Then from there, it's Road America, Mid-Ohio, Toronto. It costs a lot of money to do this, and he's doing whatever he can to find the partners to keep him going. And when you're P1 and you're the point leader, normally someone's going to step up because you don't want to see the point leader going away. This is huge right now for Simon Sykes.
It certainly makes the money a little easier to come by when you're winning races. And for Simon, from yesterday's disappointment to today, I think shows the maturation of that young driver and is able to ability to put that behind him and come out today. He led was on the outside of row number 1, but led most of this race. Once he got out front, he really checked out and just controlled the entire 15-lapper.
Here's your unofficial results. Simon Sykes with the win. Lockie Hughes in 2nd. Nikita Johnson 3rd. Matt Clark in 4th. Sam Corey 5th. Jacob Douglas a good run to 6th. Evagor's Papasavas in 7th. Elliot Cox 8th. Both those drivers coming from the tail of the field. Danny Dzelski holding on to 9th. George Garciarce in 10th spot. Ethan Ho and Max Garcia capping off the top 12. Let's head down now. Georgia Henneberry standing by with our race winner.
Simon Sykes is victorious. That smile is contagious. How huge is this win for you?
It's amazing. We had a rough day yesterday. We've had the pace all weekend, so to come out top in the 2nd race, recover some points, it puts us in a really good position going forward. And obviously couldn't have done it without Pabst Racing. The car's on rails. I couldn't ask for anything more perfect. The whole team was on it this weekend, and we got one more race later, so we'll try and go get another win.
And to do it at a place like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, how incredible is that?
It's truly amazing. I love this place. It's the place I've grown up wanting to race at. I was able to win the runoffs here a few years ago, but the goal was always to win it in the USF Pro Championships on the ladder to IndyCar. So to finally do it in one of these cars is amazing, and I really can't thank my whole team enough.
Simon Sykes is victorious once again in the series. Guys?
You can see it in his eyes, Michael.
Yeah, it's, I mean, fulfillment of a dream, or the first steps of this dream, and to be able to win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you can tell how much that means to him, and just the excitement and the exuberance of him getting out of that car, the interview with Georgia, you can tell this means a lot.
So Simon, like as I said, he's never had a full season in USF 2000. One of the things he's been able to do and find the budget to do is run the SCCA program. He's run the national championship runoffs, was able to win here as well. He occasionally gets F1600 rides or Formula 2000 rides and gets an opportunity to run SCCA competition. Was able to win when the runoffs were here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But that's one thing. That's fantastic. Big win. But to do it here in the ladder on an IndyCar weekend, that's massive for any young driver.
Now let's talk about Lockie Hughes on that restart after the caution, coming from that 5th position to be able to get himself into 2nd. That's the championship kind of caliber stuff you need to continue out through the season.
Controlled aggression, right? This is the guy, you never have to push him forward. You know that he's going to be going for it, but he's got a really good head and the shoulders. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes either. So for Lockie to be able to go from 5th, really get aggressive from that restart and get himself a 2nd place finish, although he does lose a bit of that gap, right? Because Simon's going to close the championship gap a little bit there with the points. He'll get another 6 or 7 extra.
Tire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like.
Come on, Mom.
Ready? And it's all thanks to Kyle. Thank you. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
Race number 2, Nikita Johnson. Mai Cheng going to help us out, as I said, to provide our awards here. Nikita on the podium yesterday, 3rd place in points coming into the day. He'll be 3rd as well, leaving this race with still one more USF 2000 event to go. Race number 3 of the triple header right around the noon hour today. But a great run for the 14-year-old. Coming home in 2nd spot, the point leader coming into the day, and he'll hold that point lead for J. Howard Driver Development. P2 today, Lockie Hughes. Finishing 2nd in race number 2. He'll be going for the race win in race 3. And Mai will bring her back out here again with the 2nd place trophy for Lockie. He started 5th at that restart and worked his way forward. A very impressive run from the restart to get up here onto the podium in 2nd. And again, holding on to that point lead. The young Australian, very impressive here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One more spot on the podium, though. This driver's won here before in the SCCA National Championship runoffs, but to get it done here at USF 2000, I think even better. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner here in race number 2, Simon Sykes for Pabst Racing. Simon, come down here with me real quick. We'll do a quick little interview. I know you talked to Georgia, but you said it there. You've won here before at the runoffs, but to be able to win here right now, closing that championship gap up, huge.
It means a lot. It was definitely a rough day yesterday. I hurt a little bit in the points, so it was a tough night. But to come back and rebound like this means the world to me and the team. Pabst Racing is amazing, and welcoming a new sponsor this weekend. Big Check Race fans, I can't thank them enough for coming out. So all the support that got me here, it was a lot. I had to put a GroupFundMe. It was a GoFundMe to get here. It was stressful to make it. So I'm just so happy we could come out with a high note before race 3.
Well done. Get on top of that podium. We'll get the winner's trophy here from Mai Cheng. And again, he said it right there, folks. This is the driver here who does not have the budget to finish the season. He is doing everything he can to make sure he gets to each and every one of these USF 2000 races. He'll be doing the same thing to get to the Carb Night Classic event, the Freedom 75 at Indianapolis Raceway Park in a couple of weeks. He has the talent to do it, a young American that could go all the way. It's just trying to find the funding that you need, the partnership, the investors to be able to do it. Simon Sykes, folks, on top of the podium. Race number 2 for USF 2000 in the Discount Tire Grand Prix of Indianapolis. A tremendous run for him. Simon Sykes with the victory. Lockie Hughes holding on to the point lead in second, and Nikita Johnson back on the podium once again. These drivers, not surprisingly, are first, second, and third in the points as well. Hughes, Sykes, and Johnson, top 3 in the championship standings right now, with another race still to go here on the weekend. From here, as I said, we head to the Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Carb Night Classic Freedom 75 for these drivers. The USF Pro 2000 drivers will be there as well for the Freedom 90. We've had some great racing on that 5/8 mile oval, all part, of course, of the month of May here in the Indianapolis 500 weekend. These young drivers will have to do it all over one more time. As I said, they'll get back to the paddock a couple hours. They'll be back in the cars and on the hot grid getting set to go. One more race for USF 2000. And as we said, we'll be rolling the drivers in USF Pro 2000 out here momentarily, folks, as they have their second race of a doubleheader coming up as well. But we'll cap things off here from Victory Lane. The guy you see on the big board spraying that champagne, the winner in USF 2000 Race 2, Simon Sykes.
Rob, thank you very much. And again, on-track activity resumes here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in less than 20 minutes. The next step on the road to Indy. Drivers of the USF Pro 2000 Series have their lone race of the day. That starts at 8:55. We're back with more in just a moment here at 16th in Georgetown.
Where do you...
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduramaxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
We're like any normal family. We just get shorter wait times because we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like...
Come on, Mom.
It's ready.
Wow. Are you sure it's ready?
Oh, it's ready. And it's all thanks to Kyle.
Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
It's your Uncle Cooper. If you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers.
Discount Tire can change my tires and wiper blades at the same time? You can change your tires and wiper blades at the same time with Discount Tire.
I'm going back to bed.
You can change your tires and wiper blades at the same time with Discount Tire.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper! It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduro Maxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
You don't want it hot. We're like any normal family. We just get shorter wait times because we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like...
Come on, Mom.
It's ready.
Wow. Are you sure it's ready?
Oh, it's ready.
And it's all thanks to Kyle. Thank you. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
It's your Uncle Cooper. If you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers.
You don't want it hot.
We're like any normal family. We just get shorter wait times because we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like...
Come on, Mom.
Ready? And it's all thanks to Kyle. Thank you. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
So fantastic race at USF 2000. And we'll see what we get here in the USF Pro 2000 drivers. So many of these pilots, of course, coming up through the USF 2000 program. That's where they got their experience as part of this USF Pro Championships ladder system. Of course, all brought to you by Cooper Tires. 20 drivers set to go here. Rob Howden alongside Greg Rakestraw and Michael Young in the PA booth here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And again, these drivers all focused on getting back at it. A wild finish, of course, yesterday in this particular category. The wet weather came. Everyone went to the wet tires. Some guys had the pressures right. Some guys didn't. We saw the two Jay Howard guys come to life. And it was Ricardo Escoto, Michael, that was able to get the race win.
But an odd situation. Beautiful day. Well, it was quite beautiful. It was overcast all day, but we thought, there's not going to be rain. About halfway through, the rain came. Everybody had to come in and get those wet tires on. And it kind of threw everything into chaos, if you will. Jack William Miller up there battling at the end, locked him up in turn 10. He fell back to 5th. But the bigger thing is Miles Rowe, who'll start on the pole today, and his issues in that race.
Indeed, he struggled and had some big issues. But one of the things, the key things was we had a wet but drying qualifying session for race number 1. As we mentioned in USF 2000, they take your second fastest lap as the provisional time you'll use for qualifying for race number 2, unless you go quicker in race number 1. Well, everybody, of course, went quicker in race number 1 because it was just so wet there during that qualifying session. So really, what everybody was able to do in race 1 is what happened. Well, Miles Rowe came in and put sticker tires on. He put slicks on. He went out and put a fast lap on. So instead of being back mired in 10th, because he has not had great speed throughout the weekend, he is going to start at the front of this grid. Greg?
Again, Rob, for those that are watching online, they're fans of the series. It'll be remedial for them. We've got a lot of fans at the facility that see this series a couple of days a year. If they weren't here yesterday, what is the difference in these cars from what fans just saw a few moments ago in terms of USF 2000?
I always just say more of everything, right? Essentially, the USF 2000 car about 170 horsepower. These cars, USF Pro 2000 at 250. More aerodynamic downforce, bigger braking, bigger tires, so more grip, more braking capability, more downforce, more power, more of everything. And you're going to see that, of course, in the speeds as well. Let's have a look at the grid. Again, everybody getting their fastest race lap from race number 1. So tail of the field, 59 years of age. We're not going to see him in IndyCar, but he's having a great time here right now. Charles Finelli in the number 83 for Fat Boy Racing, starting on the outside of row number 10. On the inside from Brazil, a brand new team, Neotech, the number 81, is Nicholas Monteiro. He'll start in the 19th position. Row number 9 on the outside, it's 18th position. Look out for this driver, Joel Granforce out of Sweden. He's the one driver to watch right now. He is going to be working his way forward. Granforce in the number 92 starting 18th. His teammate on the inside, another driver with a lot of speed. He's done really well here. He's been on the podium multiple times. Yuvan Sundaramurthy out of Delafield, Wisconsin in the number 90. The Indian-American driver for Exclusive Autosport starting in 17th. Row number 8 on the outside from California. It is Bajoy Garg for D-Force Racing in the number 7. And the driver who won yesterday from 12th position starting 15th today, Ricardo Escoto, the Mexican for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 4. Winner yesterday, starting today, P15. Row number 7 will have Jace Denmark. He joined us in the booth yesterday for a USF 2000 race. Jace Denmark, one of the drivers who battled for the championship last year in USF 2000. Rookie season here in USF Pro 2000. Watch for him to attack from 14th spot in the number 20 for Pabst Racing. Inside, the young lady out of California, Lindsay Brewer in the C4 Smart Energy number 93 for Exclusive Autosport. A good run for Lindsay, almost inside the top 10. She'll start 13th today. Row number 6 on the outside, a driver who won here last year on the road course at Indianapolis, Salvador de Alba, the Mexican, driving for Exclusive Autosport in the number 91. He'll start in the 12th spot, another driver to keep an eye on. And on the inside of that row out of Illinois, it's Jordan Missick for Pabst Racing in the number 19. We're going into the top 10 now. On the outside, podium finisher yesterday for Jay Howard Driver Development, the American Reese Ushijima in the number 6, starting in the 10th position. And from Avon, Indiana, the home race for Jackson Lee for Turn 3 Motorsports in that number 47 machine, Lee, starting on the inside of row number 5. We'll go to row 4, another Indiana driver. As we know, Jack William Miller, almost a win yesterday, led for a time, but ended up falling back to P5 for Miller Vinatieri Motorsports. Jack William Miller in the number 40, starting on the outside of row number 4 in 8th. And on the inside, another one of the Illinois drivers, it is Christian Weir for TJ Speed in the number 32, rookie driver in USF Pro 2000. We'll go now to the German on the outside. It is the number 10 of Liram Zendelli for TJ Speed. He'll start in the 6th position. And on the inside, driver who always has good speed here, Jonathan Brown, the Irishman for Turn 3 Motorsports in the number 2. Brown starting P5 here today. Row 2 on the outside, Kiko Porto, a former USF 2000 champion, and the number 12 starting in the 4th position for D-Force Racing. Watch for Porto to work his way forward. And Michael D'Orlando as well. A strong podium finish yesterday in the number 1, last year's USF 2000 champion. So row 2, the last 2 USF 2000 champions starting 3rd and 4th respectively. 20 in the field, 2 on the front row. It'll be Francesco Pizzi, the Italian for TJ Speed, in that number 55 machine. Watch for him to put his head down to try to lead coming out of turn number 1. But the driver looking to turn the entire weekend around, Michael, Miles Rowe for Force Indy and Pabst Racing. The number 99 starting on the pole, your point leader coming into the weekend. He had won 3 straight races, all 4 races on the podium, a 3rd in round number 1. Did not have the luck yesterday, 15th in the final order, and we'll see what he's able to do here today.
Yeah, that was a rough run for him yesterday.
Actually 18th with a penalty. 18th. I forgot he got a penalty.
And he went down 2 laps. It was an unfortunate race for Miles, and I think big picture, obviously there's a lot of championship races to go, but that was a big hit for him yesterday, and a car certainly a lot better than that 18th place finish.
Well, you think about the momentum he had coming in, right? You want to capitalize on that. You never want to come to a racetrack having won 3 races in a row and then all of a sudden have some trouble. You want to keep that momentum up and get that good result. So to have a bad one, it really kind of is a glimmer of hope for everybody else in the field.
And Rob, let's point this out again for our fans that are watching here on the grounds. The last race was 15 laps. This is 25. Yeah. There's extra 10 laps. What does that mean for these drivers?
Well, number 1, first and foremost, you think about the fact that you're going to see some tire wear. Obviously, they're going to go through these Coopers a little more horsepower, more weight, as we had said as well. So they're going to use those tires. There's going to be some tire management, and also, and Michael, we talked about this before, it gives these drivers maybe a little more time, a little more patience to be able to work their way forward. It's not so urgent to get to the front if you start at the tail of the field. A driver from the back, like a Joel Granforce, can work his way forward slowly. If he's got the race car, he's going to be able to get there. If he gets a yellow Greg opportunity to potentially press that reset button and try to find his way back to the podium.
I can tell you one thing, I guarantee you this one thing, we will not see rain in this race today. Sun is actually out, and beautiful morning here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Field making their way through the south end of the course right now, through turn number 10. And then they'll make their way through turn number 11. The USF Pro 2000. Again, I'm Michael Young with Greg Rakestraw, the voice of this series. Rob Howden joins us in the public address booth, expecting fireworks down in turn number 1. Again, the USF Pro 2000. Looking forward to this start.
Yeah, I would say that the 2 drivers on the front row, maybe 2 of the most aggressive we have in this series. Miles Rowe is always going to go for the gap. Pizzi's the same way. This is the guy that will make a move. And you're going to see some excitement here when they work their way down into turn number 1. If that's where you've decided to start the day, up on the mounds or up in the grandstands, get ready. This is going to be a good one. They'll come out at turn number 13. We'll line them up onto the front straightaway, and it will be Miles Rowe who will have control as the pole sitter. Fastest lap of the race yesterday, gave him the pole for race number 2. A pretty quick run out of turn 14. They're rolling some speed out here onto the front straightaway. Indeed, green, green, green. Racing down into 1. Rowe all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, as we would expect. Look who else is coming there. Outside goes Pizzi, and in comes D'Orlando thinking about it. He gets off the brakes early, though. They'll roll into turn number 1. Driver's doing a good job so far. Look at the guy on the outside. That's Kiko Porto, as he's going to get by Zendelli. Little contact. Zendelli's going to go 4 wheels off. Zendelli is going to go to the tail of the field, because that wet grass out there, Michael, when you're out there, all you're doing is kind of holding onto the throttle and try not to spin.
And Kiko Porto kind of had a bad start, was able to regain down into turn number 5, or should say turn number 1, with that late braking, but he made contact there, as you said, with turn number 1.
A couple drivers not able to get through the chicane as well. I believe that might have been Ushijima maybe, and potentially one of the turn 3 cars as well, Jonathan Brown or Jackson Lee. So they'll have to see the position for sure. One driver spun. That's Miles Rowe.
Yep.
Miles Rowe has spun coming into turn number 7. He's out in the grass. He's got it fired and is going to come back onto the racetrack, so he will be crossed his fingers for a potential yellow sometime through. Pole sitter has trouble going to turn 7 for the first time. This is a weekend that has not gone well for the point leader, Miles Rowe.
Made that left-hander into turn number 7 and just had the car snap on him. Ended up in that grass. He will fall to last place in this running order. Still plenty of time to make up some ground, but that was a huge mistake for Miles Rowe.
He comes in with a pretty solid lead of 30 points. That's essentially a full race win, so the cushion was still there, but trouble for him to go to the tail of the field. Look at the fight further back as well. Here we go, coming into turn number 1. The guy on the outside, that's that USF Pro Championship scholarship colors for last year's USF2000 champion, Michael D'Orlando. He is putting a ton of pressure right now on Pizzi, who has the lead. Francesco Pizzi able to get the lead. Not sure what happened to Miles Rowe, but obviously pressured by Pizzi coming down into turn number 7. So Francesco Pizzi, the Italian, is now your leader. Pizzi, D'Orlando, Porto, Ushijima, and Miller were the top 5 last time by the stripe. And here, look at the battle further back as Miller trying to find a way by Kiko Porto. More racing deeper in the field as well as Denmark getting in there. We're going to have a replay, folks, of what we saw there. We're not going to get a lot of it, but there's the replay. Driver off the racetrack.
It just looked like he missed the turn. I would have liked to have seen him come in. It's almost like he hit that apex right there. I think the rights just might have went off track, and he had to take the whole car off track.
Let's see that replay again if we get a chance. We'll come back to action. I want to see that replay, that run down into turn number 7. We'll get a better look at it. Let's have a look at that again if we can. We'll get them to re-rack that. We'll come back at it. Yep.
Well, Pizzi will bring the field down that front straightaway. Michael D'Orlando there. One more time the replay. And watch Miles' right sides. If they maybe get on the grass, and that's where he goes off.
It looks like it's a mid-corner correction, though, because once he gets there, it's almost like he's pointing. I don't know if he thought he may have lost the rear end at all. What happened? We do have a full course yellow.
Miles Rowe was.
Yeah, there we are here. Yep.
She's on the inside of the track. And then Finelli is on the north end. Maybe contact coming out of turn number 11. And he might have hit the outside retaining wall.
No, there's Finelli there. He's already behind the wall.
He's behind the wall.
So that'll be it for Charles Finelli and his trip to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He is done. Brewer with the issue over in turn number 7. So, wow. A little bit of excitement, Michael, to start things off. We had our pole sitter, Miles Rowe, looking for redemption. Trouble. He goes to the tail of the field, but able to work his way back forward.
Well, Ushijima started P10. He's now in 3rd. Granforce started 18th and now in the top 10, running in that 10th position.
And did we not talk about Granforce? He wanted to get a couple of spots early and then hope for that yellow flag, which he just got. The patience for Granforce is going to pay off. He ends up coming up into 10th position. So here it is right now. Pizzi the leader, D'Orlando second. Reese Ushijima, who started, as we said, further back, 10th position. He finds himself up into 3rd after the opening chaos. Great run for him on the podium yesterday, now back into the 3rd spot. Kiko Porto 4th, Jack William Miller in 5th. Jace Denmark, who started all the way back in 14th, he's up to 6th. 8 position improvement for Denmark. De Alba goes into 7th, Salvador De Alba. Jackson Lee, who started 9th, runs 8th. Jonathan Brown in 9th, and Joel Granforce, as we talked about, from deep in the field now up into the top 10.
We talk about Ushijima going from 10th to 3rd, made a big move, and that was all when the Miles Rowe incident was unfolding. He got around Kiko Porto in the north end of the track, and guessing turns 2 and 3, that first portion of the course, because Porto led him in, and then Ushijima got around him somewhere in there, and of course all our focus went to Miles Rowe and his off.
Driver into the pits right now, Ricardo Scotto into the pits with front wing damage, so we'll see what happens with the Scotto here. The number 81 of Nick Montiero's into the pits as well.
Boy, the highs and lows of Scotto yesterday with a win, and now issues in this race.
We'll see if they're able to get him back out before he loses a lap, though, because he is still on the lead lap, as is Montero, so you know they're going to be working as hard as they can to get him back out. Looks like they're still taking some time to work on the car of the 93 of Lindsey Brewer. Tough for Lindsey. She had a really good run, almost into the top 10 yesterday. Not sure what happened to Lindsey Brewer. She is, of course, falling down the order. So both Finelli and Brewer essentially out of this race right now. 18 drivers remain of the 20 who started, but a good jump for Pizzi to be able to take advantage of the issues that happened with Miles Rowe. Takes that lead right now, but man, aggressively challenged by D'Orlando on that one lap.
We were joined in the public address booth yesterday by Jace Denmark. He helped us in the USF2000 race. He started 14th, now up to P6, so 8 positions up for Jace.
Well, if not mistaken, at the end of that run, we asked him how good he was going to be. It was going to be the hard charger, right? He said he'd see if he could do that for us. So right now, he is...
this is clearly for us, is why
100% that's what this is for, yeah. And I feel honored about it.
Right.
Jace is a great young man. I'll tell you this. So I had Jace after a big win at Road America. He joined me in the booth there for the final race of the weekend at Road America. And then going for the championship in Portland, he got together with his teammate. It was a wild battle between Miles Rowe, Michael D'Orlando, and Jace Denmark for the championship going into that race. Pabst Racing looked like they were going to be able to win the championship. They end up taking each other out of the race. D'Orlando comes through for the win in the championship. Just Cinderella story, essentially, for D'Orlando. But literally the last race of the weekend was Pro 2000, and I asked Jace if he wanted to join me in the booth, and he did. And I thought that was a classy move of a guy who had just lost a scholarship, which is worth over $400,000, but he came in and was able to give me so much great insight on that particular race. This is a classy young man, Jace Denmark, and the great thing is I had him in the booth. I've been working with him a little bit, to do booth work with me, the analyst position. I went and raced the big karting event at the end of the year last year in Las Vegas. Jace was my coach. I thought that was kind of, because he's a top karter. It was kind of cool as we switched roles from teacher to student.
How interesting was that, by the way?
It was awesome. Again, to see the other level of a driver, and you understand racing is obviously very technical. You sit down and look over data, but to be right there and have him kind of showing me what I was doing, what I needed to do, to go over the data that we came off my cart, it was unbelievably cool.
I can't imagine that you would need any assistance driving a cart at your age, but always, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but clearly that's wrong.
Always learning, always learning.
That's right.
And again, at a track like that, temporary circuit that was at the Rio Hotel, the Supercarts USA Super Nationals was the event, and I had a fantastic time. Someone's just pulled off here coming down 7. Who is that who has pulled off the side of the racetrack? That could potentially be Jackson Lee.
Looks like he just moved to the back. Hell, he's off.
Yeah, he is off the track. And I think that may potentially be Jackson Lee off and turn, or between 6 and 7 on the Holman Boulevard to the...
Yeah, we certainly won't be able to go. Yeah, we certainly won't be able to go green. It is indeed Jackson Lee.
Oh, what a shame. Jackson was having a good run. He showed really impressive speed throughout the last couple of days here at IMS.
And he was running 8th at the time during this caution. So started 9th, I believe.
That's a shame. Jackson, of course, coming in here. This is one of the big races for him. Obviously, working their tail off to find the money and the budget to be able to continue to run here in USF Pro 2000. This is the race, right? This is the home race. Of course, as we know, Jackson's father, Kevin Lee, on NBC Sports. He's been in this booth many, many times before, part of the IndyCar Radio Network as well. A noted and a highly esteemed journalist and broadcaster. His young son, of course, loving racing like so many did. Grew up at Newcastle Motorsports Park and karting before jumping into F1600 racing and then into the USF2000 program. Just a good run overall. The takeaway from this weekend for Jackson Lee will just be the speed that he was able to show throughout the week. He's been top 10 all week long. So I hate to see it for him.
And unfortunately, it's going to take a minute to get the wrecker out there and tow that car in.
Indeed. And again, 5 laps in of a 25-lapper. Yesterday's race went on time. We do have 50 minutes of a time window, so lots of opportunity to get this one done still. Pizzi is your leader. D'Orlando second. Ushijima up into the 3rd spot. Porto in 4th. Very aggressive on the start for Kiko Porto. And Jack William Miller hanging around there still in the top 5. Jace Denmark, as he said, big move from him from deeper in the field up into 6th. Salvador De Alba, who started 12th, he goes up 5 spots into 7th. Jonathan Brown now will move up into 8th with the departure of Lee. Granforce goes up into 9th. So Granforce started 18th. He split the difference, Michael, up into 9th position for Joel Granforth. Watch for him to be super aggressive in that number 92. And Christian Weir now as well works his way into the top 10. So Weir started in 7th, fell back outside the top 10, but he'll press the reset and slide himself into 10th at the start of this one. And how about Rowe? 15th. He needed that yellow in a huge way. After that off over in turn number 7 put him way back. Had we gone green to checker, it would have been unbelievably damaging. This is very big for him. 30-point lead coming in after winning 3 straight races. So even though he finished 18th yesterday, the cushion he had already developed was enough for him. And indeed turning things around. We'll see what he's able to do now from 15th with this yellow.
And Fortunately for Miles Rowe, we already have 5 cars out, so that'll allow him to start at the rear of the field in that 15th position. But a huge mistake for points leader Miles Rowe in turn number 7. Had an off, fell to the back of the field. There you see Jackson Lee's car being, looks like it's under power, or has he just got a little momentum from that toe?
No, he looks like he's driving it.
Yeah.
Getting word from one of my spotters that potentially there was contact for Lindsey Brewer from the tail, so that might have been a Scoto. You think about him coming in for a wing change, front wing change. Maybe he got into the back of Lindsey Brewer. Scoto did start behind. We are going to go green flag this time by, so it will be the Italian, Francesco Pizzi, for TJ Speed in that white number 55 that will lead them. And again, restarting P1 is so tough here in Indianapolis. It's such a long run down into turn number 1. Watch these drivers get at it. There's a little contact there. Jack William Miller's lost a wing. One driver poked out, and Jack William Miller has lost the front wing. And it'll be somewhere on the front straightaway, so I would not be surprised if we go back to yellow. But here's this battle beforehand. Look at Joel Granforce coming up the inside. Granforce is going to come out in 2nd position. What a restart for Granforce. He goes from 9th to 2nd on the run down into turn number 1.
Unbelievable. Jonathan Brown will move to that 3rd position. Almost as if Pizzi got a bad start out of 14, because we had the field spread about 3 wide before they even got out of that turn.
Oh, there's contact as well. A couple drivers together coming through. They both tried to go to the outside of the chicane, and we got full course yellow again. And I want to say that might have been a Scoto and Garg, I think, got together coming. They weren't able to get through the chicane. We'll look at that replay a little later. A lot of chaos, and there's the wing of Jack William Miller on the front straightaway. Miller just got checked up there. As they came out, I think one of the reasons why is normally when you're on a restart like that, you're going to get on the throttle at a 13, right? You're going to get on it quickly. He waited and waited, and you can see a couple drivers popped out, and Miller got caught up in that one. Okay, so here's the restart.
Right, so Pizzi has the field in tow, and everybody, oh, who's that flying on the outside? Caught Jack.
That was De Alba.
So De Alba came from like 8th to the lead.
Yeah, they're going to look at that, I think. He got a big jump, unless the green flag was flying, because De Alba just got on the throttle and went around the outside. If the green flag is flying, he's going to take the lead down in here. So that was De Alba and then Granforce. Both those drivers, those exclusive Autosport drivers, taking full advantage. If indeed the green flag had come out, and then here's the issue here. Watch these drivers further back. Nowhere to go. Scoto's trying to go to the outside. And yeah, indeed, one of the D-Force cars was there as well, and they just made contact coming on the right side of the chicane.
Yeah, he hit that chicane. He got the curbing and got in the air, and he had no control of that car. Yeah, that restart has to be under review. It's just very interesting. Pizzi coming out of turn number 14 so slow, and that gave Salvador De Alba, I don't know if you call it an opportunity. He was back 8th or 9th, but he just came flying around the outside, and that, I think, caught Jack Miller off because he had no idea that was happening. Love to see that replay of that restart again.
Yeah, if we can get that replay, let's watch that again. Come into that corner. And again, it comes down to if the green flag was flying and the spotter's saying green, green, green. Watch way back in the field here, folks. They'll come out. Pizzi's super slow, not on the throttle yet. Way to the outside comes...
So De Alba was 7th. Jack Miller then went to swing out and caught the right rear of De Alba.
So De Alba either jumped that or saw the green flag and beat everybody else to the green flag. And then, of course, Granforce had a great run there as well. So, wow. Okay, let's step back and take a breath. Because De Alba is your leader on the racetrack. Granforce is in 2nd. Jonathan Brown goes up into 3rd. Christian Weir, who is 10th, goes to 4th. Jace Denmark in 5th. The Orlando 6th. And there they are going to work right now. Joey Vallone going to work on that number 40 machine, trying to get that new front wing on there for Jack William Miller. And again, Miller was trying to do the same thing. He was trying to jump. Nowhere to go.
Missig, 7th. Who's in 8th?
Oh, Miles Rowe.
Miles Rowe jumped from 15th to 8th on that restart.
So, yeah, again, that was really just a chain reaction of everything that was happening there with the fact that Pizzi was so slow coming onto the restart. Normally, he would punch off, but if the green flag had flown, everybody's going. Because trust me, when you're coming out of that corner, you're looking for the flag and you're listening for your spotter. Wow. So De Alba, Granforce, Brown, Weir, and Denmark. That's the top 5. De Orlando, who was 2nd, goes all the way back into 6th. Missing in 7th, Rowe 8th, Pizzi in 9th. He restarts and goes all the way back to 9th. I'm so surprised he didn't get on the throttle earlier. And Ushijima in 10th. So first, second, and third go back to 9th, 6th, and 10th. That just was not the restart they were looking for.
Wasn't expecting that at all. A reminder to all of you fans here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indianapolis 500 champion, his final run, the final chapter, autograph session with TK, Tony Kanaan this Saturday. Today, 1 to 3 in the Pagoda Plaza. Say hello to TK, wish him all the best in what could be, still some doubts in some people's minds, his final Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of interviews with TK, and he's talked about the fact that this will be the last one, well, unless I get an amazing opportunity, right?
I remember last year he came by and was waving to the fans, saluting the fans. Yep. I thought, well, he's done this year, and now he's going to do one more. So we wish him all the best. He's got a great ride.
We're not the only ones that feel that way. Even when Dario Franchitti says that in his morning interview yesterday, I tend to believe that this is his last 500. Maybe.
Yeah. And listen, TK loves the 500. We know that, right? And the 500 loves him, too. The fans love TK here. If an opportunity came with a good car, maybe, right?
You think about running with Arrow McLaren this year. Obviously, Ayrton Senna, his hero, and to be what a storybook finish to drive for McLaren and potentially his last Indianapolis 500. If he could win, my goodness, what a story that would be.
So Jack William Miller, they were able to get that new wing on. He is on the lead lap still, so he'll be 15th position. And we still have a long way to go. Remember, we're only working lap number 9 right now of 25. I had hoped, we talked about the fact that USF2000 was kind of chaotic. And, of course, these older drivers with more experience were going to show us how it's done.
Show patience, virtue, and we've got anything but. So the AMR IndyCar safety vehicle.
We've got workers down on the driver's left again, Michael, as they come out of turns number 5 and 6. So I'm not sure who that potentially is or what's going on down there, but we do have some service vehicles on the racetrack on the exit of that chicane 5 and 6.
Unless they're still cleaning up that incident and those cars finally came to a rest there at the exit of turn number 6.
I will say the start is indeed under review. So the race directors will have a look at that and find out whether or not there was a jump potentially for some of the drivers. How many guys potentially jumped. As Pizzi, we talked about, just did not accelerate. But again, it's normally his opportunity to get out on the throttle first coming into the restart zone.
So we had Pizzi in the lead. Ushijima was running 3rd. Kiko Porto was 4th. Ushijima falls to 10th. Porto 12th. Unbelievable. And Pizzi, as you said, is 9th. So we had our top 3-4 drivers fall all the way back to the field.
D'Orlando's the worst damage at 6th, but he was 2nd.
Right. Good point.
So D'Alba either brilliant stroke and got the call that the green flag came out, or was just jumping, trying to get an advantage there, because he obviously rolled around the outside of everybody.
Well, one would think with the field in tow, Pizzi just had a bad start. For everybody to just jump him like that and get to the middle portion of the field. Let's watch it again. So there you see Pizzi, and it just looks like he's slow, and he just bottlenecks everybody up, and he's still not into the throttle, so everybody starts to peel off. And right now, he finally gets into the throttle coming down that front straightaway. So he was already about 300 yards out of turn number 14 before he really got into the gas.
Indeed. So we'll see how this all plays out. Christian Weir, another driver, got a great jump on that one as well. He started 11th, worked his way up to P4. So Christian Weir taking advantage of it as well. But again, it's all going to be whether or not the green flag came out or not.
Well, let's put it this way. The rest of the field thought the green flag should have been out. It might not
Everybody
have been.
but Pizzi.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah, that's, again, a surprising turn of events here on this restart, and I'm sure race control having a look at all the cameras that they have available for them to find out whether or not the green flag indeed did fly. And again, on the radio, if it indeed was a radio call, if you're a spotter, all you're looking at is the green flag. The minute the green flag comes out, you're on the radio telling your driver it's green. And so if indeed that's what happened, that's the call that D'Alba got. He got on the throttle like so many other drivers did. Weir was coming up the inside. Miller was obviously on the throttle as well. That's how he got into the back of him. So,
well, Brian Howard in the flag stand, we could potentially look at Brian and say, hey, did you have the green flag out or not? And we get a quick answer.
You get a cell phone number? Give him a call.
We'll give him a call.
Let's find out.
We'll get an answer quickly.
Yeah.
So the field making their way through turn number 7 now, still sorting out that restart, and then a collision coming out of turns 5 and 6 in the switchback.
They haven't reset anything. It's still De Alba out front, so it leads me to believe that potentially the green flag did come out and Pizzi just did not go, and we'll see what happens if the pace car ducks on off and we're getting ready to go racing once again. De Alba and Granforce 1-2. They started back in 12th and 18th respectively, so it's gone their way thus far. De Alba, Granforce, Brown, Weir, and Denmark, top 5.
So we have extremely fast cars now in the middle of the field, and De Alba will bring them down. Pace car peels off, and the field starts to make their way through that left-hander of turn number 13.
If I'm De Alba, I'm getting on the throttle now.
God, exactly.
Start doing this again.
Gone.
Indeed he is. He's on the throttle already. Watch him roll out onto the straightaway indeed. On the throttle quickly. Granforce right there, his teammate. Big run down the straightaway. Here comes the 32 of Weir to try to get to the inside as well. Jonathan Brown. Here goes to the outside. Look at this run here for Denmark. D'Orlando going to watch him things on the bottom of the racetrack as well. He'll try to go to the inside.
Great move by Chase Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark had a really strong move up into third, but some contact there as well. I want to say that the left front of D'Orlando potentially into the side of Weir, the 32, coming out of turn number 1. We'll see whether or not there's any damage there, but they'll work their way now through. Everybody trying to cycle through. Indeed they do, and there's Miles Rowe getting aggressive coming forward as well. Wow. What a start. Back to green flag racing. 10 laps down, 15 to go, Michael. Here they come into turn 7.
We go 3 wide back in that 5th, 6th position, but De Alba certainly will lead this field. Lots of tire smoke as they brake heavily into turn number 7. Everybody clean through.
Oh, look at the contact there. That's Christian Weir going at it with Michael D'Orlando coming out at 8 through 9 and over to 10. And this is when things get crazy, obviously, during a restart, right? You're packed back up again. They haven't stretched out enough yet, and that is a big fight. D'Orlando, I think, has his elbows up, as does Weir. Weir does not want to give up what he was able to get on that restart. Moved up to P4, so his elbows are up. He hasn't shown the speed to run in the top 5. That's why he's having to elbow it up right now, because he is getting aggressively moved. And here comes Montiero potentially back into pit lane. Yeah, look, watch Weir. He's going to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Full defense mode for Weir to the bottom. Out comes, actually, no, that is, I believe, D'Orlando down to the bottom. No, there goes D'Orlando to the outside. That's the other 2 cars. That's Pizzi who's got himself back up into the fight. How about 3 wide, 2 deep, down into turn number 1. Oh, contact there again for D'Orlando as he gets shuffled a bit there by one of the Che Howard cars. That would be probably Ushijima. Wow. And look at D'Orlando way outside. He is slowing like there could be some damage. Yeah, look at that car's crabbing. He's got a broken, I want to say, right rear.
I was watching Miles Rowe. He was able to get himself up to that 8th position. Miles to the inside trying to take that position, and he'll remain in that 8th position.
The bad luck that has been plaguing Michael D'Orlando here after winning the championship last year is unbelievable. He's literally going to hardly be able to make the corner. He's going to try to get it back here. Let's have a look at that replay coming through. As I said, the contact between he and I believe Weir coming through the corner. No, it was Ushijima. So Ushijima's the blue car a little bit further back. D'Orlando's going to go to the outside. Pizzi and Weir side by side to the inside. Now watch Ushijima. He's going to get a better run from that second row on the inside. D'Orlando's going to be on the outside. Here comes Ushijima coming through and big contact. And there's the broken right rear. Left rear to right rear contact. Ushijima just pushing past the apex.
Yeah, Ushijima totally missed his braking mark and just slid into D'Orlando. There's nothing Michael could have done there.
What a shame. It's just been so tough for D'Orlando. He's going to fall down the order to 15th. Yeah, Montiero's in pit lane. This thing is wild so far. And here he comes. You can see the rear damage there. Yeah, indeed. Broken toe link on the number 1 last year's USF 2000 champion D'Orlando. Has just not had the luck at all. Good finish on the podium yesterday. Goes all for naught here in the back end of the doubleheader. So I'll tell you who's coming forward. Miles Rowe, you talked about.
Oh yeah, Weir, Pizzi, and Rowe are all there together. You'll see them coming into view right there. They're 3 wide. Now Rowe goes to the outside. Pizzi will go to the inside, try to get around Weir.
And we'll look for the over-under potentially coming from Rowe as well. But, you know, in all this battling we're watching is Rowe's going to go around one of them coming through 8 and 9. Joel Granforce has taken over the lead. Granforce takes the lead from De Alba, so the Swede has gone to P1. We're watching this crazy battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And Joel Granforce in the Corpe exclusive Autosport, number 92, has gone to P1.
Action all throughout this field. What an amazing pass for Granforce over Salvador De Alba. Chase Denmark in that 3rd position.
That Corpay car, one of my favorites. Metallic raspberry, the color on that car. I absolutely love the livery on that machine. And up front right now with Granforce, De Alba second. Chase Denmark, P3. He promised us he'd do it. He started deep in the field, as we know, 14th. He's up into the 3rd spot. Jack William Miller working hard as well. We know what happened to him with that wing, but he has moved 4 positions up to 11th already for Jack William Miller.
Watching that battle for the 5th position, Weir and Miles Rowe.
Shout out to Jordan Missing as well, as he's right behind those 2 TJ Speed cars. He's got his teammate coming up behind him as well. Here's the battle here we saw before. This is Miles Rowe going at it with Christian Weir. Let's see if we get the over-under. Rowe, very nice over-under, but can he complete it? You got to get to the apex. Yes, he's not able to get to the outside.
Oh.
Weir's not going to give it to him, and yeah, Rowe gets off. He gets back on. Missing's going to be able to go around him. So that was, again, when you're making that inside move, you almost have to cede the position. Unless you're alongside that driver, you just simply can't pinch him down. He's going to go to he's going to try to get that car to get out to the apex, and then of course out to the outside of turn number 4.
Yeah, Miles
3 rather.
Tried to force that issue. Yeah. Probably should have been a little more patient, but he's making such a great charge. Thought he'd try to gain a position there.
Does have some cushion in the championship, as we know. 30-point lead coming in, trying to recover from what was a crazy start when he went off the racetrack, back to 15th. He's now up into probably, I want to say, maybe 8th position now.
Yep, 8th.
And he's got Ushijima behind him. So Rowe falling back a little bit. It's Granforce, De Alba, Denmark, Brown, Weir, top 5. Pizzi right there, 6th. Missing 7th. Rowe 8th. Ushijima and Zendelli, 9th and 10th. Joel Granforce, though, out front. Second last year, the GB3 Series, a very talented young Swedish driver. We've had a lot of great Swedes come through this USF Pro Championship program, and he's going to be the next one. A very talented driver looking for that first win. And this is the track. It's nice to get it done here because there's so much racing still to go. Michael, you get that first win, you get that momentum going for the rest of the season. This would be huge for Joel Granforce.
Just an update on Jackson Lee, and indeed that car out of the race. Just reported Jackson Lee out of that race. So mechanical issues with that car, and as you said, Rob, unfortunate for that young man.
Yeah, D'Orlando, Scotto, Lee, Brewer, and Finelli all out of the race. 15 drivers remain, only 14 on the lead lap. You go back to Kiko Porto in 13th and Bajoy Garg in 14th spot. Good fighting up front. In fact, a couple of TJ Speed drivers going at it here as well. That is Christian Weir, P5. Your pole sitter, Francesco Pizzi, trying to see if he can't recover after what was, we just have to believe, kind of a mistake for him on that restart. Just didn't punch off. Everybody else seeing the green and getting at it. Tough one for Francesco Pizzi.
Well, Miles Rowe able to get around Jordan Missing. That'll move him back into that 7th position.
And that's indeed Ushijima getting by Missing as well. So that was the fight for 8th. So Ushijima in the J. Howard Driver Development blue, white, and red machine there in the number 6. He has gone back up into the 8th spot. Remember, he, again, on that restart, he was sitting there P3. And again, when you're D'Orlando, you're Ushijima behind Pizzi, you're waiting for him, like you're waiting for him to go. You're looking at his gearbox. And everybody else was able to take advantage of it.
All kinds of battling in the back. Weir, Pizzi, and Rowe. There's Weir and Pizzi battling.
That's Rowe.
Rowe, I should say Rowe getting around Pizzi.
Pizzi didn't want to give it to him. He went to the bottom. That was either Pizzi or Weir. Not quite sure which of the TJ Speed cars that was. But indeed, Rowe getting another spot. Here comes Ushijima and Missing on the action as well. So this is a pretty good battle here right now. We're looking probably 6th back to 10th. Almost 11th, because Jack William Miller looking to get in there as well in the Miller and Terry Motorsports number 40.
Yeah, Weir was ahead of Pizzi, and I think Rowe made the attack on the inside, and those two went, and I think Weir stayed to the outside. We'll see as they cycle back through. That was the battle for the 6th position.
Front 4 drivers have checked out, essentially, the big gap back. Yeah, it is still Weir. Yep, Weir, Rowe, Pizzi, Ushijima, Missing, Zendelli, Miller, Sooner Murthy right there, as is Kiko Porto.
Ooh, Ushijima locks him up, gets around the Pizzi machine, and hangs on to it.
That was a huge lockup on the right front. Look at this. Pizzi's going to try to back down to the inside of turn number 4, and he's going to get the spot done. That's tough for Ushijima. Here comes Jordan Missing in there as well. Watch him try to come through. Missing's going to cut the course. He's going to have to go back behind. So Missing went to the outside, not able to get through the 5-6 chicane. He's going to have to give that up and get back behind Ushijima.
or a risk of 30-second drive or a potential drive-through. No, he gives it back up. Good job for Jordan. But anytime you lock a tire up like that aggressively, it's going to want to start locking up again.
Second time he's done it. Remember, he got into D'Orlando, and he is flying on the inside. Here's the replay.
Big run down the straightaway, as we know that the draft so big. But this is a lunge from way back.
wait till he pops out. Pops out at the 300-foot marker and locks him up.
That's a huge lockup, too. He dragged that tire for 100 or so yards. That is, he's going to be struggling with that for the rest of this race, and we still have a long way to go. 8 laps remaining, Michael. So did not get the spot, as we know, is Pete's able to go back down the inside. Look at him drag that brake into there. Whew. I think, I'll tell you, every driver behind him knows that now, too. They're not, they're fully aware that they're going to potentially be able to battle. And here's that move side by side. Rowe trying to get around Weir this time. More contact again. Rowe's not going to like that. Yeah, forces the issue. Little jink at the apex of turn number 3 to get that done. And look at these drivers. That's Miller battling it out as well. Porto's in there. This is getting hectic at the end of this one.
I think that was the same position that Miles Rowe tried to force the issue last time. Wasn't able to get alongside Weir. That time he was able to, and he really made sure, hey, I'm alongside you. I'm going to get this position.
That's exactly what that was. He was able to go just a little bit deeper. He was a little farther forward in turn number 2, and even with some more contact, he was able to hold on to it. I think trouble again for Jack William Miller. Not sure what happened to him, but he has fallen deeper in the field. Being told that Michael D'Orlando back on the racetrack. They were able to get the right rear of that machine repaired. He got him back out, which is a good idea because we've got a bunch of drivers who are falling back. So potential for D'Orlando to scrap a couple more points. Monteiro back in here in the number 81 machine. And there is some kind of an issue, as we said, for the 40 of Jack William Miller. He has fallen off the tail of the field. Potential contact maybe for Jack William. We'll have a look when he comes back through. But right now, Granforce is having a tremendous run. 1.7 up on De Alba. Chase Denmark currently on the podium in 3rd. Jonathan Brown 4th. Rowe from 1st to 18th to 5th right now for Miles Rowe. This has been a tremendous recovery.
Well, car 32, Christian Weir, was warned for blocking. Potentially that battle between he and Miles Rowe. He's got Pizzi on the move now right behind him. But he has been warned for blocking.
And guess who has the fastest lap right now? Miles Rowe. That thing is flying. The Force Indy Paps racing machine. Point leader coming into the weekend. Indeed. Nicholas Monteiro, the Neotech number 81, back into pit lane again. They've been struggling with some issues on that 81 throughout the week. Brand new team in the series. And there you go. Coming down pit lane. Left rear failure of the tire from likely contact. That tire debeaded itself. I'm going to assume, they'll bring him in, get the quick jack out, try to get another tire on and get him back out on track.
I would imagine that happened when we were watching that battle with Miles Rowe and Weir. We saw that quickly happening. They were 2-3 wide behind them, and that's potentially where Jack cut that tire down.
Tough weekend at the home race for Jack William Miller. Of course, led it for a time yesterday, ended up coming home P5. Had some speed here today as well, but goes all for naught as he ends up, he'll fall down. He's in 14th right now with the danger of potentially going back to 15th or 16th, but they'll get him back out onto the racetrack.
Let's go back to the front. We haven't talked about Joel Granforce. A commanding lead over Salvador De Alba. How about that? After getting around De Alba, after De Alba had that great restart, Granforce has taken command of this race.
Yeah, and Granforce, as we said, he had a great start as well. He was the driver who went up into turn 1 on the inside and actually went to 2nd after De Alba had gone to the lead. Granforce kind of taking control, as you had said, turning good lap times, 1:22.9s. Not many drivers in the 1:22.9s. In fact, Granforce just turned the fastest lap. So Granforce now the fastest driver on the race. Like only he and Rowe below the 1:23 mark. So not only is he out front, he's out front on merit. The pace is there for Joel Granforce, the Swedish driver, looking to get his first win. Interesting, you kind of go back to it because I kind of compare Joel Granforce to a Louis Foster last year. Both drivers had great success in the GB3 series over in Europe, formerly British F3, GB3. Joel finished 2nd in the last year. When Louis Foster came over here last year and ultimately winning a championship with Exclusive with John Hayes as the engineer, it took Louis a couple of races to get a feel for the Cooper tires. He said he just needed to get a feel for how to maximize them in qualifying and how to really run them over a race distance. Louis Foster had some good runs at St. Petersburg and Barber, but it was here that he got his first win in race number 3. Joel Granforce following suit.
Could that be potential championship run maybe for Joel Granforce?
Granforce picking up a 10th a lap, 2/10 a lap. He goes to now 0.3 tenths a lap ahead of our second place running D'Alba, but it's just getting a tick of time. And as you had said, the quickest thus far as you see him working through that switchback thus far.
Laps winding down, 4 laps to go when they get back around. They'll come down the Holman Straight once again. There's your lead for Granforce over his teammate Salvador D'Alba. So
yeah,
exclusive
1.8 seconds. Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job.
And the pace is there. The outright pace is there. Ushijima just got below the 123s as well, 122.9989. So he's down there with good speed as well, and potentially closing up on Pizzi. That could be a battle we're going to see maybe for 7th position for Rhys Ushijima, his turnaround weekend for sure at the start of this season.
If he has any tires left, he'll use up every last bead on those Cooper tires.
Indeed will.
So Weir, Pizzi, Ushijima, they're all running together. That's the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Other than that, the rest of the field has pretty much checked out. No real battles. Granforce makes his way out of 14. Then D'Alba about 2 seconds behind him now.
That's one to watch right there. The Denmark Brown. Brown was quicker by about 0.3 of a second last time by, and the gap between 3rd and 4th is down to 0.7 of a second. Both drivers turning 123.2s at last time, so Denmark being told, I'm sure, watch out, Jonathan Brown is coming. Let's get on the throttle, please. Denmark trying to get that big recovery. Started 14th and has worked his way up to 3rd now for Jace Denmark, driver at Scottsdale, Arizona. Was in the championship battle last year in USF2000. Came up short, but was able to put together a program to come pro racing here this year. And a talented young man, well-spoken as well. You and I had him in the booth yesterday. Again, a fantastic young driver.
I am well impressed with Ushijima's maintenance of those tires and care he's taken. I would have figured he would have flat spotted that right front, and he's still quick.
And again, that's it's showing his ability on that brake pedal, right? Because you really want to do that threshold braking, but once you've locked up a tire and flat spotted it, it always wants to grab that flat spot. So he's obviously being very ginger on the brakes. He's still turning good lap times, down to a 23 flat as well for Rhys Ushijima. This last time by, a couple of tenths quicker than Pizzi. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second. Laps winding down for sure, but there is an opportunity that Ushijima could go battling on Pizzi. We know that he'll lunge from deep if he has to, so we'll watch them come down the front straight and see whether or not he's got anything for Francesco Pizzi.
3 to go. The USF Pro 2000 presented by Cooper Tire, race number 2.
And here they come right here.
Well, Miles Rowe lost a little ground. We're starting to pick up, and here we go. Ushijima starting to look to the inside, outside of Pizzi.
Pizzi's going to defend at the bottom of the racetrack. He's got to hold that spot. He goes up out wide a little bit. There it is. The fight is on now for 6th, or that would be for 7th and 8th. Indeed, up the road a little bit is Weir in 6th. Indeed, Christian Weir, a rough lap there for Miles Rowe. You brought it up, 24.3, a second off the pace that last lap.
Yeah, he had a big advantage over Weir, and it's just all of a sudden Weir's closed it up within about 10 car lengths.
That's the battle there for the final position on the podium as well. We know that Jonathan Brown trying to find a way by Denmark.
Here goes Ushijima trying to make the move to the outside of Pizzi. Will not be able to make, but they still continue that battle through turn number 9 and 10.
Yeah, that one's going to go down to the wire. Pizzi, a little bit of an issue. They are coming through turn number 9. Car got a little bit wild on him coming through. Had a ton of wheel into it. And that's because he's getting pressured, right? When you're getting somebody on you that aggressively, you're going to potentially make a little mistake here and there. Rhys Ushijima is all over him. This is going to be the opportunity now. He's going to get a really good run out of 13. And again, Pizzi defended to the inside last time by. Let's see if Ushijima can hold it this time. As they come on the straightaway, just a quick little note, Michael D'Orlando getting him back on the racetrack. Did gain another spot. He's up to 14th now. And here they come up the straightaway right there.
Francesco Pizzi goes down low, and Ushijima has advantage on the outside. Will he outbrake him into turn number 1?
So hard to outbrake, you know, when you've got what he said with the tires. He's trying to over-under him. Wow. And again, with that huge flat spot that he had, I'm so impressed with what Rhys is doing right now with this car. How about the inside there? No, and look who's coming. This battle right now, Pizzi is, of course, not the fastest driver on the racetrack. And here comes Jordan Missy, Liram Zendelli, Kiko Porto. Wow. They're making Pizzi work for him. There's no doubt about that. If he brings this home in 7th, he has done his job. Look at this. Zendelli looking to the inside. That is missing around the outside. What a pass for Jordan Missy. Can he finish it? I think he does. Jordan Missick around the outside of turn number 7.
Wow, what a great pass by Jordan Missick. He'll take that advantage 3 car lengths now through turn number 10.
So Reese Usajima goes from battling Pizzi for 7th and now back to 9th position with Zendelli on him. A beautiful move there for Jordan Missick. Can he be the guy now that chases down Francesco Pizzi to potentially take that spot? White flag being shown to Joel Granforce, lining things up to win his first event here in the USF Pro Championships. Like I said, Louis Foster got his maiden victory last year here in Indianapolis. Well, Joel Granforce do it as well for Exclusive Autosport. Still racing further back as we know, but it looks like they've gapped a bit here. There's a battle a little bit further back. Yep. That's Kiko Porto, I think, trying to find a way by, Porto trying to find a way by Usajima. Otherwise, this is Joel Granforce's race. He was able to take advantage of that restart. Came to 2nd into turn 1. Was able to get by his teammate Salvador de Alba. And Joel Granforce, with just a couple laps to go through the infield section of this track. 7, 8, 9, and 10. The Swedish pilot looking to put the Corpay car for Exclusive Autosport in victory lane. Look at that gap, Michael. That's exactly what you want as a driver. Give me some cushion, I'll hit my marks, and we're going to go to victory lane.
This is a Scandinavian-type weekend. We got a Dane and a Swede on the front row for the IndyCar race, and a Swede potentially bringing it home here at the USF Pro 2000, race number 2.
Through the final couple of corners. It's been a rough start for this young driver here in 2023, but things are about to change because the winner in the second race of USF Pro 2000 Indianapolis is Joel Granforce from Exclusive Autosport. He wins his first race in the program. A tremendous run for the Swedish driver, and Exclusive up on the wall to congratulate a 1-2 finish. Granforce with the win. De Alba comes home in second. Jace Denmark delivering on the promise he made to us to be the hard charger, moving his way forward. He goes from deep in the field, 14th to 3rd for Jace Denmark. Jonathan Brown, a strong run, bringing it home in 4th spot. Miles Rowe ends up P5. Major damage control for him. Obviously, the issues he had yesterday, finishing 18th, qualifies on pole, goes to the pole position, goes off the racetrack, back to 18th, back to 5th. That's an up and down day.
And once he got around Christian Weir, had that slow lap, not quite sure what had happened, but I think Miles just said, hey, let's take these points. The top 5 still good, considering he had the lead and had fallen all the way to the back of the field.
You wonder how big the win is. That was Michael Duncalf from Exclusive Autosport, the owner. He and his wife Kimberly Duncalf, the owners of that team, running up the pit lane. They want to get up here to their driver, Joel Granforce. And Salvador de Alba, 1-2 for Exclusive Autosport. Jace Denmark puts Pabst Racing on the podium as well. Granforce was last yesterday, had an issue, contact between he and Miles Rowe put him out. So essentially from 18th to P1, Joel Granforce from the tail of the field up to the win. What an amazing drive.
So you talk about that, and we had Jace Denmark P14 to 3rd. De Alba started 12th, finished 2nd, and as you said, Granforce 18th. Comes home victorious.
Number of drivers as well able to go in top 10s in both races. Salvador de Alba 6th and 2nd. Jonathan Brown 4th yesterday and 4th today. So a couple of good top 5 for Jonathan Brown. 10th and 7th for Pizzi. 2nd and 9th for Usajima. And Christian Weir, his best weekend so far as well. 8th in round 1, 6th in round number 2. This, though, is the man of the hour right now, Joel Granforce. In that Exclusive Autosport number 92, we'll bring it in here again. 2nd last year in the GB3 series, a very talented young driver from Sweden, and this will be big for him to get this victory. And listen, we can't talk about it enough how crucial it is for these drivers to get that confidence, get that first win, get the monkey off your back, and he is pumped for sure. And again, there's Michael Duncalf, the owner of Exclusive Autosport, pumped for his young driver.
What a wild race. You think about the complexity of it with Miles Rowe falling to the back of the field, that Pizzi restart allowing de Alba and Granforce to get to the front. Just a crazy race. But after everything settled in, Granforce clearly the best car out there today.
Indeed, he was turning those awesome fast laps. So again, you like to see that, right? It's not like he obviously took advantage of that restart chaos, was able to go to 2nd, then took the lead, but then put the laps down that he knows he could put down. You get out front like that. And again, big celebration for Exclusive Autosport 1-2. Joel Granforce and Salvador de Alba. What a great run for for both of those drivers. Chase Denmark, again, awesome job to get his way up into third. He'll be pleased with that. Jonathan Brown, back-to-back fourth-place finishes. He'll be thrilled there as well. Miles Rowe, recovery to P5. Christian Weir, again, best weekend of the year for Christian Weir as well. Pizzi, Missing, Ushijima, and Zandelli round out the top 10. Kiko Porto, not the day he was looking for. He ends up in 11th ahead of Yuvan Sundar Amurthy, who has had better luck here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Bajoy Garg, I believe the final driver to complete all the laps. Michael D'Orlando ends up getting up to 14th. Well, listen, folks, what a tremendous run for this driver. Joel Granforce, the winner, and he stands by with Georgia Henneberry.
Joel Granforce victorious for the first time in the USF Pro 2000 division. And Joel, you've come close so many times, but to finally do it and to get the win, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You know, started P18 after a crash in race 1, which put us back in the back, and was able to do a really good start. I think I gained like 8 positions in the first 2 laps, and then the safety car came out, and on the restart there was a bit of confusion, so I think I went from P10 to P2 just going into turn 1, and then me and Salvador on the last restart, I just managed to do them on the outside. So I mean, it's just been great. You know, the 92 Corporate cars has been great all year. So.
And to take a look around, you look behind you, the pagoda's there. This is the front stretch of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and you're parked here in Victory Lane. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true, of course. I never thought in my life I was going to be here, you know, so it's just great, and I can't thank the team enough.
That is Joel Granforce. He is your winner for the USF Pro 2000 division.
That's something.
That's his engineer, John Hayes, right there. It all came down to the restart, Michael.
It certainly did, as Pizzi brings the field through turn number 14, and there you see everybody flying. And Granforce is back there, the red car to the inside. And he's actually in that 6th position right now, but has a great charge, and I think he ends up 2nd by the time they make it to turn number 1.
Yeah, he's able to go to the inside, just slipping by. Look how close he was to the wall, getting by the inside of Denmark coming into that corner. Yeah, just a wild start. Everybody got caught off guard. Pizzi just did not get on the throttle. He went to the back. He ends up coming out 2nd, and in the end, grabs that victory. So just there's Mom there as well. Dad's, I know for sure, watching back home in Sweden. So a big day for the Granforce family. Again, 2nd last year, as I said, in GB3, and he gets his first victory here in USF Pro 2000. I always love to see these guys when they get their first victories, especially when it comes here in Indianapolis.
Fantastic job. Our thanks to Rob Howden. We will hear from him a little bit later on this afternoon for the 3rd race with the USF 2000 drivers. We'll do some celebrating on the victory podium. Again, congratulations. Big victory today. His first here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the USF Pro 2000. Joel Granforce, your winner in USF Pro 2000 race number 2.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduro Maxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
You don't want it hot.
We're like any normal family. We just get shorter wait times because we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
So easy.
Which gives us more time for things like...
Oh, come on, Mom.
It's ready.
Wow. Are you sure it's ready?
Oh, it's ready.
And it's all thanks to Kyle. Thank you. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Let's get you taken care of.
your Uncle Cooper. If you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers.
Discount Tire can change my tires and wiper blades at the same time. You can change your tires and wiper blades at the same time with Discount Tire.
I'm going back to bed.
You can change your tires and wiper blades at the same time with Discount Tire.
Got some of our guests from Discount Tire to help us out here as well. Wild race, everything of course kind of hinging on that restart. Let's get the driver here coming home in third spot, finishing third for Pabst Racing, Jace Denmark. And to present Jace with his trophy, one of our guests from Discount Tire, Owen McAfee. Thank you, Owen. Great run there for Jace. A lot of chaos. The guys were talking about it a bit behind the podium. Just a wild restart there. Everybody kind of taken off guard. The guy that got the biggest jump on that was from deeper in the field, went way around the outside, was able to lead him into turn one. A great run. Second place for Exclusive Autosport, Salvador de Alba. And Tu Cheng has our second place trophy. From Discount Tire, too. Thank you so much. Great run for Salvador de Alba, winner here last year, gets second place here today in Exclusive Autosport 1-2 because the driver who showed the speed even at the end, he was able to get a great start, went down to the wall to come out second at the end of that restart, was able to get by his teammate and showed good speed throughout the entire race. His first win, ladies and gentlemen, here in America, running in the USF Pro 2000 Championship for Exclusive Autosport. The winner, Joel Granforce. I know you had a chance to chat down with George, Joel, but one quick message here on the podium. What does it mean to win here at Indianapolis?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true, you know. When I was small, I've always seen this on TV, and to be here on the top step is just amazing.
That restart was chaotic, obviously. You ended up going down to the inside. You didn't get the big jump that Salvador did, but you had such a good run and thread the needle. You almost touched the wall on the inside. Do you know how close you were?
No, I was close there. You know, I was doubting if I was going to go for it, but you know, I just went for it and it paid off. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Get up on top of the podium, Joel. What a great run for Joel Granforce as the winner today. Let's bring that trophy in for him as well. Again, one of our guests from Cooper Tires, Lily Chang, will bring the P1 trophy in for Joel. And again, we talk about for these young drivers that you get that first win, the monkey off your back, the floodgates often open, and watch for him to be strong throughout the rest of the year. This championship tightened up. Miles Rowe finishing in the 5th spot, still has a good advantage leading into the Freedom 90 at the Carb Night Classic in a couple of weeks at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. But all three of these drivers with momentum now as we head into the middle part of the year. And they got a great run for Joel Granforce. Got a tremendous jump on that restart. Not as good as Salvador, but still a great jump. And was able to then put down the laps he needed to get by Salvador and pull away. Exclusive Autosport 1-2 and Pabst Racing on the podium with Jace Denmark. Way to cap things off for the drivers here in this USF Pro 2000 category. Still one more race coming for the USF 2000 drivers. They're back in the paddock area right now. Repairs being made to the cars, getting themselves ready to go. They'll cap off their triple header right around the noon hour here today. Of course, right ahead of the Indy Next and then the NTT IndyCar Series main event. But again, great action down here in Victory Lane as the smiles of the drivers who have been able to get here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously a place that you want to win at in your career. And for Joel Granforce, his first win as part of this USF Pro Championships program. The champagne will be flying here momentarily as well. What a race that was. Some good racing. We actually focus a lot deeper in the field as well. Watching the battle with Francesco Pizzi, Christian Weir, Miles Rowe. Michael D'Orlando struggled again. Got contact with he and Risu Shijima. Just a tough one all around for D'Orlando. But the drivers here again able to work their way onto the podium. Well deserved. Champagne getting ready to fly here right now, folks, to cap things off for USF Pro 2000. Joel Granforce with the win. Salvador de Alba in second. Jace Denmark in third. Guys, grip it and rip it. Let's have some fun here. Champagne time here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Michael Young, another fantastic race.
Indeed it was. Congratulations. Our top three finishers, Jace Denmark, Salvador de Alba, and of course your winner, first ever drinking the bubbly, Joel Granforce. Congratulations to him. We welcome you. Lots of